And one. All right. It is Good Friends, Good Games, episode 38. And I'm going back to here. Let's see if I do this right. Ah, look at that. New Steam Deck works just fine.
How
Hopefully.
exciting. This year, are we going to hit 50 this year?
50 episodes?
Mm-hmm.
If the math works out correctly, we are going to either hit it this year or we are going to hit it like first of the new year. I'm debating on this because I thought about this. If we're at that point, because you know how we take the last month off in like November, late November through December.
Yes.
I'm debating on like if we are one episode away from 50, do we just take a shorter break and then nail the 50 this year?
Yeah, why wouldn't we?
Sure.
Yeah.
Why not?
You know, otherwise we come back and do 50. Which either one works as a momentous occasion, kind of. Like we're either ending the year on 50 or we're starting the year on 50. But we're pretty close. We'll probably actually 2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah, we'll probably get it. We'll probably be around November if we do the math right. I think that's the way it's going to work. Good Friends, Good Games, episode 38. It is April 6th. Did you guys get bamboozled by any April Fool's jokes this year?
No,
Nah, dude.
no.
Nah.
I'm always skeptical of things on April Fools.
Nope.
No.
I think it's a dying. I think it's a dying.
I did see one impressive
a dying fad
thing,
on social
though.
media.
I did see one thing though that I thought was a joke at first, and then I realized it wasn't. Do you know Hollow Knight? The game Hollow Knight.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know that Silk Song, the like successor of that game, has been in like delays and everything like that for like the last 6 years, roughly. Been delayed and everything like that. Well, there was a post that someone made saying they've added a page to the Xbox store for Silk Song, and everyone thought, "Oh, this is the April Fool's show" because it posted on April Fool's. You go on the Xbox store. Nope, it's a real page. They actually posted that on April Fool's. Yeah.
Nice.
Is it real? Is it not?
Is
We'll
it
never
real?
know.
Who knows?
I like it when they go all out and like really do the whole thing where they make the web page and they like record the commercial, the whole shebang, and then you're like, damn, this is so real.
You know what I've been seeing a lot more is the rising trend of people or companies posting things on April Fools and people thinking, oh, this is a joke. Oh, this is not real. And then the real joke is that it's an actual announcement.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with that too.
Yeah,
I'm not okay
I
with
love those
the
kinds of
other
jokes.
way around.
Yeah, because like I'm tired of all the like the bored jokes where it's like, like I decided I hate Zelda, or you know, and then obviously like all those ones where it's like, oh, I'm pregnant, you know, those are old and tired.
Those are old ones.
I mean, get some new material.
I hate the ones. I hate the ones where people don't even try. Like, if you're gonna do it, try. Like, a infamous YouTuber that I'm sure tons of people can't stand. Keemstar was like, "I'm dead," or "Keemstar died," and then everyone's like, "Oh yeah, great." I'm like, bro,
no,
you didn't even try.
No.
But yeah, no, I didn't really fall for any this year. There were some okay ones.
No. I saw Razer releasing the Cthulhu gaming chair.
Oh, what chair?
So it was a thing they posted about a Razer chair, basically, that would like have arms coming out of it and stuff like that and do things for you.
It just sounds like hentai.
That's what a lot of people interpreted it to.
Experience gaming chair. Oh my gosh.
Probably what they were going for.
Yeah. Appeal to certain fans.
So everyone's got a bunch of live stuff going on, so we'll go ahead and we'll get some updates from the crew here. Everis, how is the move going?
Moving.
It's moving.
Yay. It's very moving.
Emotionally and physically.
It's going. We finally know we're gonna move, which is exciting. And we have the apartment, everything. That was good news. And now it's just kind of crunch time with everything. So I've got, grad school work. I've got massage license renewal. I've got we're trying to sell stuff or packing up stuff. I've got, if anyone who doesn't know, I'm a massage therapist. I'm a travel massage therapist, and so my job is literally different every day. I'm driving all over the city, so I have very little consistency in my life, and it's just been a hot mess. But I have had time for yeah, pretty much all the brain energy I have is like Stardew Valley.
You're just going potato, just sitting and playing Stardew Valley. So
I did. Okay, so I've played. I wish I remember what I started at hours wise on Stardew Valley before and after this current playthrough, but right now I don't know. I would say a good 25 to 30-ish hours, and I'm on year 2 of summer. So if that means anything to anybody. Actually, I lied. Year 2 of fall. Year 2 of fall now. Just blasting through.
Are you in that phase now? Oh, go ahead.
What do you mean?
Sorry. Are you using any mods in your playthrough?
Nope. It's just vanilla. Just trying to see what the new update brought.
Okay.
And it's good. It's really good, actually. If anybody hasn't gone back to play, I would honestly say it's more fulfilling to play Stardew Valley on a new playthrough than to go back to an old one with the new update, because there's a lot of different things and whatever. So
it was on my list to buy and I did not do it.
Why?
Because I opted for it's like one Undertale.
Of those games.
No, well, you opted.
Okay.
I opted for Undertale because that was your challenge to me this year. Which
I didn't realize you had never played Stardew Valley.
Never played it, and then
it's good.
Lethal Company was on sale, and I was like, I jumped on that. So, but the next one, it's Stardew Valley is on my list of things to purchase on the next Steam sale, which I believe is summer.
Well, Eric, do you not want to spread democracy with me in Helldivers too?
We're waiting to see if democracy still stands. I'm waiting to see how like the community holds up on that game, because Pow and I are still intrigued.
It's still holding pretty well.
Dill, for some reason, how you pronounce or you try to urge Eric to join you for that, like it felt like either Stewie Griffin or mixed with Austin Powers, be like, you want to go? You want to go?
You want to go? Anyway,
Eric, like
Eric,
that whole thing.
Eric,
why?
Eric.
But back to Everis. So are you in that stage now where like you were finding stuff in your apartment and you're like, why the hell do I still have this?
Oh yeah, there's a lot. I mean, there always is that, and I don't have an issue with getting rid of stuff. I'm actually kind of a minimalist in the sense that I have no issues downsizing or it's like, oh, this has no value, bye. It's like I got rid of a ton of mugs. I went up to Josh like, do we need this mug that says this thing? Do we need that?
I think one of the parts that I dread the most when moving is either finding like the places of the apartment that has either the most dust, because my allergies will hate it.
Oh, it's so gross.
The most spider webs.
Well,
no.
It sucks because this entire time I'm not gonna be able to clean the apartment like I have been, because everything's in the way now. Like there's boxes the way. I mean, you can kind of see them right now on the left, the right side of my screen here.
Dude, it's
the box is starting to pile up, and so now it's like there's just going to be dust everywhere, and cat hair is actually the worst problem.
Well, it's pretty bad, dude. I hate it. Like, I'm pretty sure the top of these bookshelves, I'm pretty sure there's a film crew coming to film Dune 3, like, on the top of these bookshelves pretty soon, because, like, it's bad up there.
There's so many of those areas. Like, one of those areas, like, the top of the refrigerator. Like, the top of the refrigerator is always the worst. Where it's, like, underneath the cabinet, you, like, pull it out, and there's, like, this thick, like, you can almost take it off like a sheet. Like, the dust and everything, and... yeah, just fun, exciting things.
The forbidden crevice, like the forbidden crevice between the between the counter and the stove, like
the forbidden sounds like a porno.
Well,
the forbidden crevice.
Is that the title? Everis, did you just nail the title for this week?
Yeah, Forbidden Crevice is the name of the title now, chat.
You said it. I just expounded on it.
You expanded on it. That's why when Zenith turned his head, like, I've got this disgusted look on my face.
I think it was shock, actually. I think it was shock. It's like, Everis, did Everis just say that? Everis is usually the mediator. Today, she's just spicy
Zenith
as
had to
hell.
leave. Zenith's done. He quit. Okay, so.
The title of the podcast has now been named.
Forbidden Crevice.
Forbidden crevice.
But, I don't know why. So, like, and the reason I asked this question is because I was digging through the closet, right?
Yeah.
The amount of USB cables that I have amassed over the years is just mind-boggling to me.
So Josh is he's an IT guy, and in the IT world, it's a good idea to keep cables around because you never know when you're gonna need it. He got rid of a box, a large size moving box full of cables.
Oh yeah, it gets bad
to the brim. And
it gets bad.
So
I'm the
many
same
cables.
way. Like I have weird, random little fucking cables. For whatever reason, I still have one of the old iPhone ones, like the 16 pin or whatever, long flat one. I still have one of those. I also have like an old like VGA cable, like one VGA cable, and then I have Josh will probably know what I'm talking about, but it is a serial to USB adapter for when you have to like tap into a switch and like program a switch. So I have one of those, and then I literally have just amassed a ton of USB cables because everything you buy, they give you a cable.
Oh yeah.
And 90% of the time, it's not a good one. It's like a cheap little flimsy thing that'll last like maybe a year tops or whatever.
Yep.
So like now, I'm going to take every USB cable I have and I'm just going to throw it into recycling.
Okay.
Like I'm just going to get rid of all of them and throw it in recycling. And then I've gotten to the stage now where I buy one type of USB cable and I buy like a 3-pack. And then there's one in my desk, one in my bag, and then one at work. And then that is it. I am not amassing any more cables.
It's crazy. It's crazy. I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that thought. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Bloop, 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 bloop.
But it's like it's bad. It's massively, massively bad how many cables. I literally have a bin just sitting in my closet full of cables.
And they're heavy too. It's kind of like books where they build up over time, and you end up with this like 40-50 pound box just full of cables or books. And just like, well, shit. What do we do?
The smart thing I started doing, because like I said, I've been on this cable purge. So what I do is like now I just have USB-C cables, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I just buy these little adapters. So like this is a USB-C to like a USB micro, like the one before the C. And it's just a little adapter. And I put that on my C cable and I charge whatever I need to charge. And I'm just like, this is all I need. I'm trying to find one for the PlayStation 3 controller because that was like the old school cell phone plug.
I still have things that use the old school USB plug, like micro USB like plug-in.
Yeah.
And it's like I can't get rid of this because it's
adapters, like literally adapters. These are like $5 a piece. Buy like a 3-pack of them, and then you're good to go. And then just keep them in a, in a little drawer. Do you have like drawers on your desk? Are you like a desk organizer person, or do you like your desk just clean?
Okay, so I have a sit-stand desk.
Okay.
So it's not like part of like but I have two sets of drawers left and right. Filled with stuff.
Got you. Okay, so you are a drawer person. Like you have drawers.
Gotta have drawers. Yep.
Okay.
I'm also like an office supply whore.
We had this discussion.
Yes, we have. I'm an office supply whore. That was actually the first thing that I packed because I realized, well, like, when was the last time that I used my, all my pens? So I was like, I'll pack those up. And now I'm like I've got my like flashcards and stuff for school. And now it's like, well, now I need my pens.
You don't do,
like,
what's that app? Pal gave me an app for flashcards and I forgot what it's called. But there is an app for it now where it'll all just like randomize it on your phone.
I know, and I know they exist, but there is
Tangible
scientific study that proves that the more ways that you receive the information or study with the information, whether it be like writing it down or listening to it, seeing it, the more that you apply those things, the better the knowledge will stick in your head.
Oh,
so if
Pal
I
is
don't
here.
like
Quizlet.
If I don't like, thank you. I've heard of Quizlet. The more of those things that you do, the better the information is going to stick in your head. And for me, it's not easy for me to memorize things. I really have to do those things. Otherwise, it'll just.
Well, as far as the mugs go, Pal and I are now officially on the 1 in, 1 out. So if we buy a new mug, we have to get rid of a mug.
Oh, look at that.
Because
I like that.
I'm not getting a mass with mugs. And I love coffee mugs. So like it's like one of those things where it's
I
like,
do
okay,
too.
like one's got to go.
I do too. I have a collection, but they're really cool. They're not like cheesy or corny. Like one of them's shaped like a raccoon. One of them's shaped like a squirrel. One of them's shaped like a.
There's a panda one in my cupboard right now. It's shaped like a panda.
Oh, I love it.
That's Pal's coffee mug. Well, we hope everything goes well.
Zen's got his collection of mugs, I'm sure.
Yep.
Are you a one mug guy? Or are you like a?
I've got like 5 tall mugs. Then I have about 5 other smaller mugs, and then I have like 1 plastic cup. Then again, like when I moved to this new house, I've had to reduce a lot of my dishes because like mine are in the storage unit. So like right now, like for pizza, for me to have a plate, I was using like the plastic top of one of my Tupperware containers.
Nice.
So like I don't have plates. I have 1 cup. I have like I have a bunch of silverware, so that's fine. But other than that, I'm using plastic Tupperware containers for my dishes.
Do you so I had a teacher back in high school who had the largest mug I've ever seen, and it wasn't really a mug as much as it was like a bowl, and it was like this big. It was
nice.
like I think a 32-ounce mug. Big
gulp.
And she would just take it and go and yes, it was filled with coffee. It was filled with coffee.
I'm not a big mug person. I like the old school like coffee shop, like the old school coffee shop size mug. The standard coffee mug size. I don't like the big ones. I don't know. I think it's a temperature thing because by the time I get to the bottom of one of those big ones, my coffee's cold.
It gets cold.
Right. So
Zen had a post about this on Twitter the other day, and he asked people how they prefer their coffee, how long it takes to drink your coffee. What was the question?
So yeah,
do you remember that?
It was like how long do you usually take to drink your coffee? Because I'm someone during streams, like my coffee will sit there and like go cold.
How do you drink lukewarm coffee?
Because
how do
have you
do
ever
it?
had cold coffee?
I like iced coffee. I don't like
That's
that
my point.
middle gray area.
That's my point. So when coffee cools, it can be tasty. Yeah, it's not iced coffee, but it's like, it's pretty good.
No,
I mean, if it was black, if I was drinking black coffee, then this would probably be disgusting.
That's where the line is.
Okay, I can
as soon
see
as you
where he's
add
going.
dairy, then
I'm not judging because I can see where he's going because he does have things in there like sweetener and cream and like all that stuff to give it.
Yeah, I have coffee cream and sugar,
a sweet flavor to it. But if you're drinking cold black coffee, like God help you, I don't know what is.
No, there's no
you can
way.
have iced black coffee.
But that's different though. That's a cold.
Congratulations to whoever's a monster that does that. But
well, no, cold
You've
brew
never
is
had
different.
cold. That's practically an Americano, almost. I think Americanos have like a tiny bit of something, but that's
How
basically
does
what.
Dill feel about this? Dill, how do you feel about this? Dill's awfully
Does Dill
quiet in the
even
corner.
drink coffee?
I don't drink coffee.
Yeah,
Okay.
typical British.
I don't drink tea either.
Really?
We've talked
What?
about this before.
You're an energy drink guy, aren't you?
No.
So you're not a caffeine person?
You just drink water.
Pepsi.
I mean, Pepsi?
Soda?
Wait, why is your Pepsi got green dots?
Oh.
It's a new packaging that they do now for it. They've changed it.
Oh.
You know
so
what I've
it's-
actually
it's-
noticed?
That's Pepsi Max Lime.
So you know what I've actually noticed about a lot of Brits? If you're someone that doesn't drink a lot of tea, and I don't really know any Brits that drink coffee, they would actually drink a fuck ton of soda. Like I'm talking about like cans upon cans of Pepsi or Coke, or there's something.
So
my
bad
fridge.
for you.
Dill went through a
Soda's
2 liter
so
in a day.
bad.
Dill went
my
through a
fridge
2 liter
right
in a
there.
day.
That's a fridge right there, by the way.
Oh,
And what's it
Dill.
full of?
Pop. Oh, like soda as you call it, and
Okay.
like 2 cans of cider as well.
No wonder why you seem so wired all the time.
People come to me because I drink a shit ton of diet soda. I'm not gonna lie.
I do
Like-
diet as well, yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. When you see those things on like TikTok or whatever, the guy's like, "Oh, the whatever the hell, the aspartame in your da 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 is gonna kill you," and I'm like,
If I die, I die.
You're like sip.
"Yeah." It's literally to
Input-
me that whole thing.
This
that whole
is
thing.
this is
Dying.
Eric. This is Eric.
Yeah. What do we got? We got an emote coming. Yep. That's literally. It's literally equivalent of the people saying, "You know, smoking's bad for you." You're like, "No shit." I know, like that's how like I'm well aware of this, and I'm gonna
Yeah,
be
I
honest
mean,
with you.
It's
The
kind of
shit
like
that-
you know.
Go ahead.
Yeah, that's actually kind of how I came up with one of my quotes. Somebody says, "You drink a lot of coffee." I was like, "You must have a problem." Like, I don't have a coffee problem. I have a coffee solution.
Solution.
Yeah,
There you go.
seriously, I have a coffee solution.
I don't
I'm-
not drink soda. I just drink it as like a special thing.
I mean,
It's
I
not a
drink water.
regular. It's not like a
between.
regularly consumed beverage.
I drink water in between, if that helps. I do
How
drink
much?
water in between. A bottle or 2 a day.
I thought you said a butthole or 2 a day.
A bottle.
Forbidden crevice.
Forbidden crevice
crevice.
strikes again.
But
He drinks from the chocolate fountain once or twice a day.
Charlie and the chocolate factory strikes
the
again.
chocolate water fountain. But no, so I've started switching over to those like flavored sparkling water
Oh yeah, I
things
know.
that have become more and more popular. It took me a while to find one that I would drink because like LaCroix is disgusting to me.
What
it-
is
it tastes like-
LaCroix,
LaCroix
really?
tastes like
Fart in a
it does-
can.
Did you say
Okay.
fart in a can?
LaCroix literally tastes like someone farted in a can.
How would you
God.
know that?
It's got that taste in the air when you crack it open, like.
How do you know what a fart
Just-
tastes like?
Mmm,
It's so
disappointment.
disgusting.
Anyway,
Like, every time you let one loose, you just like it tastes the air.
Like
so
the
what's that saying in
snowflakes when
chat?
they come down.
Eric.
what
Oh.
LaCroix you been drinking there, Eric? That smells like fart.
Yeah, that's not LaCroix, that's LaCrap.
It's not good, but it does not taste like that.
It's
I'll have to find a-
disgusting.
It
I'll have
tastes.
to
It
find
has
a can
a
of
weird
LaCroix.
like. It has a weird like
Ass
metallic
taste.
metallic-y like minerally taste, which I don't like. I don't like
I-
mineral water either.
Okay, to be serious, yes, that's the taste I get. It's got this weird dry, like it's disgusting. Pellegrinos I like. Pellegrinos are actually pretty good.
Pellegrinos are good.
Pellegrinos are good. I'm trying to remember. Is it Bubbles or Bubbly or something? They sell it at Target or whatever. That one's
It's like
okay.
B-U-B
Yeah, that
L
one's okay.
something.
I have not tried Poppy yet, and then Dustin, Hannah's husband, told me about Polars, which I have to try. I haven't tried Polars yet. But yeah, Pellegrinos have seemed to. Oh, and Liquid Death. I drink a lot of Liquid Death.
Which
What's
is
liquid
water.
death?
Sponsor.
It's
us,
water.
What
It's
is liquid
canned
death?
water.
Yeah, it's
Canned
carbonated
water.
water.
Oh,
Yeah.
did I?
What?
Were you not here, Dill, when I talked about Liquid Death?
Maybe not. I don't know. I
Okay,
mean,
so Liquid Death is this. They make regular water in a can. They also make sparkling water, and they have flavored ones. They're now branching off into teas, which is pretty cool. To get that Arizona tea market, but basically their whole marketing gimmick is that their cans are designed to look like beer cans. And their whole premise for their marketing is people can drink it at they market themselves to bars, sporting events, and stuff like that. So people that are, either recovering alcoholics or people that just prefer not to drink alcohol, they can kind of look like they're, they can have beer. They looks like they're having beers with their buddies or whatever, and they don't feel like singled out.
You know what they're actually trying to pander to, Eric? They're looking at those guys that they're out with their friends at a bar, and they're like, "Oh man, I quit drinking, but at the same time, I'm gonna look like a pansy if someone sees me with a fucking Dasani. So I'm just gonna drink this Liquid Death. There we go."
And you know what? and like we mildly joke about it, but like honestly, if it helps anybody like stay sober,
with their sobriety, yeah,
I'm all fucking for it, because I'll tell you right now, it helps me immensely when I go to like shows and clubs or whatever. It's the first thing I go and I order.
Yeah.
And it helps me immensely. Because I try not to drink a lot anymore, because I've told this numerous times that I had a problem, and now we're curbing that problem. But yeah, I'm all for what they do. I'm all for what they do.
I like the names as well. Mango Chainsaw.
Yeah, they have ridiculous like horror themed names. There's like Grim Reaper and stuff like that. But I'm all for their product. Like their marketing and stuff, it helps a lot. And they do stuff with the cans. I don't know. It's because recovery is kind of like sensory too. Like people will be triggered by the pop of the beer can and stuff like that. And it has a very similar tone when you crack it open, like that, And that's all triggering.
Their artwork is fantastic. So like whatever they got going is actually pretty ingenious.
Yeah, and like I'm all for it. But on a different note, Dill, have you been up to anything exciting?
It was my birthday.
Oh my God! Happy birthday, Dill!
Hi,
happy birthday!
Hi, thanks.
How old are we, Dill?
I somehow missed the social media.
Yeah, I'm 28 now.
You're 2 years away, buddy.
You old fart.
Yeah. My birthday was just over 2 weeks ago, I think. Yeah, over 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
That means I met you when you were 20 years old.
21.
Oh yeah, Dill's a baby.
Dill's
21.
Such a baby. Oh my God.
Yeah. So I was literally just about legal age and drinking in America. Basically, I just turned.
That is so crazy to me.
Yeah.
Time flies, dude. We were all.
Yeah.
We were all. Well, you guys were young. I don't know about me.
I mean, to be fair, I was like 19 years old when I set up my Twitch account. Like, so.
My first Twitch stream, I was 22.
I was 32. Jesus.
I was 29.
I don't look any different.
But Eric,
You don't.
that's
I don't. I will take it. I will take it, and I will savor it, and I will hug it to death.
Age is hard, dude. I'm feeling it.
And then it dies,
now.
and then I get old.
I'm feeling it now. Like I see these like young, especially in a city like LA, when like everyone is young and like living life and enjoying it and all that kind of stuff, and I'm just like, damn, I'm fucking old.
I feel dated old. I don't feel like physically or emotionally old. I feel like dated. Like I've lost track of everything that's hip and poppin'. And I hate that I just said that. Hip and poppin', but I'm gonna roll with it.
my hips are popping.
Yeah, my hips are popping.
Oh my.
I just don't know what's the thing, and I'm okay with that because the stuff that's like on TikTok these days just makes me want to like barf. I just none of it is appealing. None of it makes sense. None of it's funny to me. None of it's like it's just people. This is a rough take, and we don't have to talk about this too long. But I think people are trying too hard.
Yeah, of course.
You aren't wrong, obviously.
Well, we're all everyone,
So-
not all of us, but they're all chasing. They're all chasing the viral moment. Is basically what.
Yeah,
Pretty much, yeah.
And it's
but it's like
I get it.
But it's like you get it, and then it's over. No one cares anymore. So I don't know why people are trying so hard for something like that. But it's whatever. To each their own. But anyway,
Well,
I don't understand it, and that's just me and who I am.
and I don't think the whole idea is you're not meant to understand it. Like if you don't understand it, then you're not meant to understand it. It's kind of like. C'est la vie, do your thing. Good luck,
Yeah.
C'est la vie.
Yeah.
C'est la vie.
Isn't it c'est la vie?
Six la
C'est la
C'est
vie.
la vie, c'est la vie.
C'est la
C'est la
vie.
vie.
Yeah. Six la vie is six life. In French.
Whatever.
Great job,
So
Eric.
anyway, realistically, no. Happy birthday, Dill.
Yep.
Happy 28. You old fart.
Yep.
Did you do anything fun?
Yeah.
I went to go see my cousin. I haven't done that for a long time on my birthday, where I actually got to hang out with my cousin for my birthday. I went met up with her in town. We went back to her place, meet up with a partner. Then we went out for a meal. Went to this place called the Glico Lounge, which does like flatbreads, tapas, burgers, brunches, that kind of stuff.
The tapas. Okay.
Tapas, yeah, tapas. And I had like a chicken Kiev burger, which was like stir fried chicken with garlic and parmesan on it and everything like that. It was delicious. It had bacon and jalapenos and everything. But the fries portion was quite small, I will say.
I hate when you do that.
Did
Yeah.
you just say fries?
Fries.
He's
I thought
becoming
they were
American,
chips.
guys. He's
I thought
he's
they
slowly.
were chips.
He's
Well,
creeping
no,
into
because
America.
so the way that we do it in the UK, we have two types of chips or fries, as I call it. We have the thin ones, which I call fries, and we have the chunky ones, which I call chips. The big chunky ones.
Okay.
So these ones were the smaller, thinner ones that they're called fries.
They're
And
just moving goalposts.
Okay.
They're just
portion-
moving goalposts.
I want to say a quick little joke. When Dill starts to be a bit too influenced by his non-British friends, you see there's Union Jack on, and then there's Union Jack off.
which one am I jacking off to?
Boo.
Everis didn't like that joke. Throw a tomato at him. Is there a Discord thing for that?
I have a boo sound effect because the Jack kept
Isn't
wanting
there a
to.
boo?
Yeah.
Anyone
In
who
the
boos
Discord?
me, I just quote Rick Sanchez. You boos me nothing. I see what makes you cheer.
If
Why are
do
you
use the
booing me?
sound
I'm
effects-
right.
If you do use the sound effects, make sure to upload them in the file drop so I can
Yeah.
mix them in.
Yeah.
But
Anyways,
Yeah.
you can continue.
Yeah, so that was the only complaint I had at a lot of places. I had a few drinks there, went back to my cousin's place, and we just like drank, chat shit, played video games, and then passed out, and then woke up the next morning, just chilled for a bit more and went home. And then when I got home, I got a red velvet cake that was handmade by my mum. So she made a triple layered red velvet cake. It was massive.
Ooh.
Yeah.
nice.
And I had a takeaway, and I had to fight. I had like 4 days off from work as well, which was quite nice. Like I had a 4-dayer off from work, which is unusual for me because normally I only get 2 days off from work. But because of me swapping shifts with all my co-workers that week, I had 4 days off in a row. So like
That's fabulous.
yeah. Also, my cousin's partner, she crochets, and she made me this.
Oh,
how cute!
It's
a
crochet
love it.
Pokeball. Yeah, it's a Pokeball.
Pokey poop.
Yeah, it's full of like a bunch of stuff in there and everything, so it actually is like it's cool.
I literally just
I
asked
love
that because Pal went to her mom's this weekend, and Pal's mom is an amazing baker. So
Mhm.
Dill just mentioned red velvet cake. I was like, can you bring back sweet treats like carrot cake, banana bread,
Well,
something?
Dude, red velvet cake is my top 3 cakes. I love red
Nice.
velvet cake so much. Like it's so good.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah. So.
Happy birthday.
Ooh.
I'm glad you had a
Happy
good time.
birthday.
Birthday.
to
Happy
you.
birthday.
Yeah, I also
Oh.
got a Super Mario RPG remake as well for my birthday too.
Yeah,
I'm playing that at some
RPG
point.
Nice.
in there.
Josh is
Yeah.
playing that right now.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, also, you know that discussion we had a while ago, Eric, about me going into a game store and seeing Ocarina of Time on the 3DS?
Yeah, did you grab it? Is that it? Hey, look
Yep.
at you.
18
Yeah.
pounds, not bad.
Yeah, so I got it
Classic.
now. So I can
That's
try
a
it.
classic, dude.
Yeah.
Anything exciting on your front, Zenith? I know you've been on the work hunt and you've been interviewing like a madman.
Like a
Wow.
boss.
So it's been a very busy week. Aside from starting some kind of challenge we're going to talk about later. In the last week, I met a friend of the podcast, Badass TV, for Korean barbecue because he was in town. So I did that on Monday, and then literally the next day afterwards, I had an interview that was on like one of those like team meetup things on Google, and it was a really good interview for a really good job that had good pay. At least in my standards anyway, because I'm fucking pathetic. So I have you're offering like a bunch of vacation
No bad
days,
words.
Mm.
benefits.
No bad word about yourself. No.
No
bad.
negativity.
Bad.
Zenith sucks. Anyways, so thank you. So anyways, it was just like a really good opportunity, and it really sounded that they liked me. So I'm holding out hope. I have to wait like a couple of weeks to get back to them because they said that they're in the midst of training two other people, so like they can only train so many people at the same time.
Was it a group interview, or was there multiple employees interviewing you?
No, it was just a one-on-one.
Oh, okay.
And
group interviews are the worst.
Yeah, I don't like group interviews, but this one, like it was one-on-one, and because I actually got to use my microphone, he's like, "Wow, you got a great setup there." I mean, when I was looking at your resume, which I actually now include being as a self-employed full-time content creator, and he was like, I didn't know what to expect, but here you are with this expensive setup. I'm like, well, this is what I've been doing. It's not like I'm sitting on my ass for like 3 years. So
I'm ready to work. See you on Monday.
Yeah. But then the next interview happened. So I had 2 interviews. This one was in person. It was at the airport on the other side of the city.
Oh no.
I left my house at because it was 4:11. I left my house at 9 a.m. And not only that, when I finally get to the last subway stop of at the other end of the city, I noticed there's a 28-minute wait for the bus. So I Ubered, and it was pissing rain. I don't have an umbrella because I left my umbrella in the storage. So I had to use like a laptop bag to try and shield my hair from getting soaked.
Aww.
But I showed up there, and I was still early. I was still early. But within 5 minutes of getting there, I was like, this environment is toxic and not for me. So this person, so he was looking over my resume, and said, so it says here that you are an influencer for 5 years, and he said, so like, let me guess, you've been sitting at home for the past 3 years, sitting on your ass and playing video games. So how come you haven't gotten a job since then? And I'm like, all right, well, that's a no for me. Because first of all, what I'm like, I guess some people might not understand what we do as influencers versus content creators. But what we do isn't exactly easy. It is actually hard work. And honestly, it's not always feasible to do this as full-time work. But that doesn't exactly mean that it's doing nothing.
Right.
So like if opportunity is not knocking on my door, guess what I'm going to be doing? I'm going to be doing this. So I was pissed. And then like that, like during the interview, the guy was like, all right, so to compare this into what this kind of job is going to be like, you're going to be So think about it as like chasing women. And I'm like, you are so
What?
unprofessional, dude.
What?
I am not here to chase women. Please don't use that fucking
Was that
analogy on me.
one of those like calling people jobs?
It was a collections job.
Oh God,
done
you
collections
dodged
before.
a
You don't
bullet,
wanna
dude.
do
You dodged a
that.
bullet there. Holy moly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not only that, like the money that he was offering was way less than the other job. I'm just like, I would have to bust my ass under a lot of pressure for an entire year to make.
Everyone
Just-
is gonna hate you. Yeah, that's just
Yeah.
you're way
So-
better off.
Yeah, it was an awful time, and like I wanted to walk out early, but I didn't want to because I got this through my employment coordinator. I didn't want to run out because then it would actually make me look bad, and then they probably would be less inclined to help me. So I just grinned and bear it. I didn't ask any questions, but I'm like, fuck you, I'm out of here. You're so unprofessional. This is not my environment.
You can tell over here, we have job agencies or whatever. It's similar to what you're working with. You can tell them like, hey, this last interview I was on, the guy was really inappropriate and asked really inappropriate, borderline, legal issue questions,
Yeah.
or, HR red flag questions, and they'll be receptive to it.
Yeah.
Because
I'll have to do that.
Yeah, like if it was really of that level, like to where they're and what happens is the feedback gets relayed back to the agency. The agency goes, well, what's up with this person? And then they tell their story, but then you tell them your side and you'll be like, look, this guy asked me this inappropriate question, that inappropriate question. I was very uncomfortable during the interview. And then they take that information and
I
roll
actually
with it.
talked to my coordinator, said that like I didn't I told her that I didn't walk out. But I did say that I was very uncomfortable from the interview.
Yeah.
And, it's up to her if she wants to inquire. But other than that, I'm not spending much more effort because, whoever they find someone to hire, is entirely up to them. Because, I'll tell you one thing is not going to be me.
Yeah.
So another thing that they asked me is they're like, oh, because, like, sometimes during interviews, people will ask you, can you list one of your weaknesses? So he asked, can you think of one of your weaknesses that you think would apply to this job? I was like, okay, so you probably word it in a way that's a bit more different than what I was expecting. So I said, okay, can you give me a minute or two because I got to think of something that might pertain to this. And he said, Steve, it is not a hard question, buddy. You should know yourself and you should know what your weaknesses are. And I'm just looking at him. I'm just like, because I don't think, like, sure, I know myself, but I don't go thinking about my negatives and my flaws and my weaknesses. Yes, I work on them.
It's a stupid question anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's still in circulation of why you want to ask this question, because everyone's going to be like, I work too hard.
Right.
Or, I am too... particular about stuff. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know.
You wanna know
It's
what my
a
answer
dumb
was?
question. Everyone's gonna flip it and make it my negative is really a positive. And it's like,
Yeah. So my response to that question was, I have a really big heart. And unfortunately, because of that, with pertaining to this job, I might be taken advantage of if a person's in a really tough spot, and I gotta bend over backwards trying to help people that I think need it the most, and I will not be thinking about myself and trying to get money, but like, what can I do to actually help these people? And basically, like, his response was, we got a bleeding heart, like almost as if he's mocking me. I'm like,
yeah,
dude, what the fuck? And then like at the end, all of a sudden he's like, hey, thanks for the interview. Thank you for putting up with our difficult questions, and we'll call you on Monday. And I thought that, he's just gonna move on. And he's like, but I have a feeling that we'll see you on Monday, as if they're going to hire me. I'm like, fuck you, go fuck
Did
yourself.
this guy actually liked you if he says that? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. But the thing is, though, like there was something a bit off about him because I almost hung up on this guy when he called me. So because like when he called me for an interview, it showed up as potential fraud number.
Oh yeah, that's a red flag.
Oh,
so yeah, so I almost did that.
That's weird.
And when how I originally got this interview was I went to this big kind of like group event where we actually got to like, you know, have like one-on-one interviews for like a short period of time, but he didn't have time because you know, it took too much time. But so he said, all right, I'm gonna do just a quick little like presentation in front of everyone. So we grabbed the microphone, and he's in a government building, and he's saying the F word every like 3 sentences. And I'm like, the government is right there. And they're just listening to you pulling off F-bombs in front of everyone. I'm not sure they're happy about this. You should probably, you know, cool it.
This is that same guy?
Yeah, this was the same guy.
Oh my God.
Some people do. Some people like that. People, and what's
clearly he's in the right job.
Yeah, and what's screwed up about this whole thing is the market's like it's an employer's market right now, so you're going to run into people like this that just have control over, you know, the collective destiny of others, and these people like have no business being in management whatsoever. They just like got in with the right person or the right place, right time, and they made their way up.
Or they stuck around long enough, you know?
Right. And some people are just psychos. Like sometimes they're just like lucky and they were the one dude that managed to stick it out while everyone else quit. So they're like, oh, well, you're the manager now. Good luck. And
yep.
Well, I'm sorry one happened to you, but I'm also glad the other happened to you. So it looks like things are
yeah, it's all about balance in the universe.
Yep, just gotta wait. But yeah, that was that sucked.
Yeah, sounds
that's uncomfortable. Yeah, Jesus. But like I said, you can talk to the recruitment if you're working with like one agent at the recruitment agency. Like if you're working with one person, you can tell them and be like, "Hey, that guy was a real jack off," and then they'll take the information accordingly.
Well, and they might not, recommend to other people. So, in other words, you might be saving other people the harassment as well.
Yeah.
If that's the shit he says to you, imagine what he says to women that come in to apply. Like, just imagine the shit he says to them. So
they might not hire women. You know,
very valid point.
Yeah.
Actually, there was like 2 other red flags that I got from that. One was like, what was it? Someone tried to call him on his number, like call his cell, like during the interview. He's like, okay, all right, I'm just gonna take it during the interview. And he said, yeah, you're supposed to, that person's supposed to start this week. Sit them at an empty fucking desk. I don't care if they're sitting on a like a fucking trash bin. Get in the desk so they can do their work. And I'm just like,
yeah, at those kinds of positions, you're not a person anymore. You're just a number. Yeah.
And then he was like trying to give examples of like the people's numbers during the thing, and he was reading off a couple of examples, and then there was one where the name was a bit hard to pronounce, and like he, like I can understand like fumbling over him, but then he was kind of like, oh, whatever the fuck his fucking name is. I'm like, come on, man, just. Can we just not be like, a piece of shit while doing this?
Yeah, no, he sounds like a shitty person. We'll move on. We'll move on from this guy. But good luck. We hope it all works out for you. It sounds like one of them's a really good gig, so we'll see what happens and keep us updated. Yeah. As for myself, I have not played any video games this week. I played one game for a little bit, but Eric played the game of life this week. Pow and I went to Anaheim WonderCon last weekend, which was basically the sister convention for Comic-Con in San Diego. It's a little bit smaller than San Diego Comic-Con, but it has the same vibes and feels. It's just in a smaller package. Pow went as a Ghostbuster on Saturday, so she got herself a Ghostbuster jumpsuit, and that was her cosplay. And some of the other Ghostbusters, Pow was like really like nervous. She's like, oh, it's just a Amazon jumpsuit or whatever. These guys have like, because the Ghostbuster community, they have like elaborate like packs. They've bought the packs. They've got the whole package, right? Like legit shit. And then like one of the dudes, like just some random dude saw her outfit. He's like, "Hey, how's it going?" And then just like, gave her the peace sign, and then she got all excited and she felt validated. So good for Pal. I also ran into the Los Angeles Ghostbusters faction. So this is actually really interesting. There is a group of people in Los Angeles that cosplay as Ghostbusters. They have, patches with their city and everything on it. And they basically present themselves as official Ghostbusters for that neighborhood. What they do is they do a lot of charity work. They'll go to children's hospitals. They'll do events and stuff like that for the children's hospitals and other various charities. And this charity, the guy was working with, I met with the, I don't know what they call them, like the faction leader or division leader or whatever. He has a partnership with a children's hospital, and they designed gowns for the kids that look like the Ghostbuster jumpsuits.
Huh.
And they presented them to the kids at the children's hospital and stuff. So it's got me like really, really interested. I'm actually thinking about like getting involved in this thing. Because for those that don't know, I've loved Ghostbusters since I was a little kid. That is my favorite movie. I love Ghostbusters with a passion. I have a little book at the top of this bookshelf is literally Ghostbusters like memorabilia shit. So I'm thinking about doing this whole thing. Because I do like the charity aspect of it and stuff, and it's just like, and I get to be a Ghostbuster. It's fun. And the cool thing about it is these individual divisions across the world, they're all over the world, right? They can actually go submit their information to Dan Aykroyd, who is in Ghostbusters and runs kind of like he's in charge of the whole like marketing and he's basically in charge of the Ghostbusters empire. You can send your information to Dan Aykroyd. They will look over the stuff you do, like charity work and all that stuff, and like what you do with the Ghostbusters branding and name and all that stuff. And if they approve it, they will actually like verify your division, and it'll be recognized as an official Ghostbusters like
that's
division.
So cool.
Yeah, cool. And then I guess from a business standpoint, you get access to some of the marketing and then access to the events and all that kind of stuff, and you can promote yourselves. And then from what I remember, I sat in on a panel that Dan Aykroyd did. He actually has patches from all the different divisions like hanging in his office. That's because cool. Part of the work they do is they submit the patch, LA Ghostbusters, London Ghostbusters, whatever. They submit the patch to Dan Aykroyd, and then he hangs them in the office. But it's pretty cool. You get like a letter from them and stuff, and like they recognize your Ghostbusters division. And I think it's really cool. And I just think all the work. There's also like, if you're a Star Wars fan, there's also the 501st Legion where they dress up as stormtroopers and stuff like that. And they do the same thing. They go to children's hospitals. They do charity work. They actually got to be stand-ins in the Mandalorian TV show. So they actually got to be on the show dressed as stormtroopers.
That's cool.
For that whole thing. So
cool.
You put your like, let's say you get a gig on this, in the show, and then you'd be like, "Look, that's me."
Right.
But
no one's gonna believe you.
No, yeah, exactly.
No one's gonna believe you.
But you'll know.
That stormtrooper is me. It's like, which one?
Yeah, they're all white.
Which one?
Which one? They're all the same.
You don't have to know, but I know.
Right.
You would only believe me if there was a stormtrooper that was 5'5".
Yeah.
You look short for a stormtrooper.
That's me.
Nice. Very well done, Everis. Good job. During this, like I've always acknowledged the cosplay stuff, but when I went to this convention, I really gained a whole new respect for the people that do cosplays.
It's a job for some of them.
Some of them go all out. And I always knew that there was a lot of work involved. We have like people in the Twitch community like Danica, Rockwood and stuff that have done the cosplay stuff for a long, long time. And she puts amazing effort into the work she does. I don't know. It's one of those things that just clicked this time around where I saw it and I was like, there was some really elaborate cosplays. This guy went as Dr. Octopus from Spider-Man, and he made all the arms out of foam, and he ran like LED lighting within the foam to get them to light up.
That's amazing.
Cool.
Yeah. And there's just a camaraderie among them because they kind of like they find each other when they're there. So like there was a group of people dressed as I don't know what the ghost from the Haunted Mansion, the ride at Disneyland.
Oh,
A really elaborate cosplay of these people did the makeup, the ghost effect, everything, right? And then out of nowhere, there was a woman who was dressed as one of the ride operators with like, I guess it's like a maid outfit or whatever that they wear at Disneyland when they work on the ride. She had that outfit. She found them, and then that group instantly just like clicked together and they took a bunch of pictures with each other. And like they all did group pictures for other people. So they do kind of find each other. The Spider-Man, God, dude, the Spider-Man community is huge. Every version of Spider-Man that exists, they find each other at like a convention and they take group photos together.
I mean, if you want to see the new Spider-Verse movie, just go to a convention. Done.
Yeah. And then there was one convention we went to where there was a big group Spider-Man shoot, and like one dude missed it by like a second. He came in, he ran in, and he's like, "Oh man, I missed it," because everyone started to disperse. And then one guy was like, "No, we're gonna do it all over again." And they gathered everyone back up, and they all took pictures again, just so the one guy can be in the photos and feel included. So there is a camaraderie among them, and the work that they put in that's just unmatched. It's great. I did see a Siri, and I did see a Geralt.
Okay.
So
there's always one of them there.
There's always one. The Siri was great. She looked fantastic. I saw a BioShock little sister, which was cool. And then another cool one Pow and I saw. We saw the two characters from It Takes Two, the game that Pow and I had played not too early. They had the cute little is it a clover that's on their head? I forget. The cute little plant shrub thingy on the top of their head. And then there was a sim where he just had like the diamond
the
thing.
little plumb bob.
Yeah, the plumb bob above his head. Yeah. Lots of cool stuff, lots of artwork. I do not have it here right now. I put it away because I didn't want to ruin it, but a friend of mine said to go visit a specific artist that does D&D inspired tattoo artwork. And I went over there and I found this picture that she drew, and it is basically like tattoo flash art that you see in tattoo parlors, the flash art on the wall, but it's all Zelda inspired. So I think I put a picture up in our Discord, and if I find a picture,
he showed it to you, Zen, and you responded.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing artwork. I bought one for my brother and I bought one for myself. So we're going to get that framed and put up. But all in all, good time. And then we went and saw the new Ghostbusters movie. Pow and I got our mothers together and we all went as like a family. And we went and saw the new Ghostbusters movie. I bought the ridiculous popcorn bucket that looks like the Ghostbusters. I don't need a popcorn bucket, but
I was going to say, did you want to buy the Dune one?
the fleshlight Dune bucket.
I knew you were gonna say something about that.
No, I did not buy that. But we bought I bought a bucket. Pal bought a Stay Puft Marshmallow Man cup that was all cute. We did that, and then I saw last night. Wait, no, sorry. Thursday night, I saw Bruce Springsteen for the third time. New Jersey music hero Bruce Springsteen is my third time seeing him. Pal's first time, and Pal was just like, Pal got blown away. She was like, that was one of the best concerts I'd ever seen. She was like, it was worth every penny. So I've been a busy guy.
Those are the best.
I've been a busy guy, and I'm tired. So I'm glad you all have productive weeks, and I know that segment ran quite long.
That's okay.
But we got some video games here. Dill.
Now,
you finished the almighty Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. So close us out on this topic here and let us know your thoughts. What do you think? How did it play out?
Without spoilers.
Without spoilers, yes.
It was redacted. I had a redacted time. Also redacted.
Redacted.
Overall, I give it a solid 9.5 out of 10.
Where was the 0.5?
Yeah, where's the 0.5?
I would like to tell you, but it's spoilers.
Okay. So is it an issue with the ending?
No, not the ending.
Is it an issue with the story?
Nope.
Is it an issue with gameplay?
Maybe.
Okay, so how's it a spoiler?
How's that a spoiler if it's gameplay?
Okay, so it's to do with the side content in the game.
Okay, so before you get
Basically.
going, before I have to throw up a spoiler tag, if I have to throw up a spoiler tag, does this side content have a direct effect on the story plot?
No.
Okay. Mild
spoilers.
Mild spoiler.
So the reason why it's not a 10 out of 10, the side content that involves Chadley's like the simulation stuff, like
Yes.
doing that got very stale to me once I got to like halfway through the game. I was getting very bored of that, honestly. Like it just was the same thing over and over again. Take on these enemies, and this allotted time and everything like that. And I got very bored. It was just kind of getting tedious after a while. Yeah, I did like 30 or 40 of them, and then I was just like, come on, man. This is just getting boring.
You're actually not the only person that I know that's had that.
I was just gonna
kind
say,
of. Yeah.
I'm about 11 hours in now.
Yeah.
And the Chadley content is too much.
It is. I agree. I think
and he talks way too much.
Yeah.
I don't mind that. Like, sure, have him like use his voice lines and stuff like that. Yeah. It's just the fact that like there's a lot to do and it's all kind of the same stuff, and it gets tedious after a while. Like, and most of the like prizes that you get from them, you can just get in your open world and like buy and stuff like that on that wells. So like, yeah, it's like that pretty much. And also, I found the open world side content, not the side quests themselves that are tied to people, like interacting with them.
Right.
Like the open world side content became a lot of the same thing in every open world you got to. And after a while, I was starting to get a little bit bored of that too. The combat challenges at least had some variety. Like, that had some variety in there. The proto relic stuff, that was a lot of fun. But then the towers were kind of all just like, they were kind of unnecessary after a while, because a lot of the things that you could find just on your own without having to even use a tower. The tower just like, sometimes when I got to a tower, I'd already all found like half the stuff that like the tower had unlocked, basically, just from exploring myself, So yeah. That was kind of tedious too. And then so I got to like about 95 hours into the game at this point.
Oh my god.
Yes, 95 hours into the game. I was on the last, I was hoping the last side quest with an interaction with a person side quest in the game. I got about halfway through the side quests content, and then I got to a point where I was like, hold on, I did this. Why is it not triggering? Why am I not like progressing through the side quest content? And so I did the same thing for 2 more times, and it still wouldn't let me progress. Yeah, it turns out the latest patch for the game bugged out the last side quest in the game, where it would not continue the progression of the game and the side content at all. So
nice.
There's a bunch of those in like
Square
Witcher
Enix.
too.
Yeah. So, and the only way to like fix it is to uninstall, reinstall the game, and not download the latest patch. And I was like, it's a 150 gig game. I'm not doing that.
They'll fix it, but yeah, that sucks for now.
They'll fix it in the new patch, but like at that point, I was like 90 plus hours in. I was literally at the end game story in the story. I was literally there. It was there. I was like, I'm done. I'm done with side content. I'm going straight for the ending here. And
at least it wasn't like earlier on, Like,
yes,
I don't know.
it wasn't earlier on, which is nice.
You should look up the rewards for that side quest and be like, oh, this is something I could have just easily gotten in the open world anyway. What the fuck was even the point?
Probably would have been. Yeah. And then there was the finale to the Pro Relic stuff as well, was like, the level for like completing the challenges was way higher than the level that I had. And in order to do that, I would have to like grind all the like battle stages and everything like that to like get to the level. And I was just like, yeah, I'm done with the side content now. I've done all I can. I'm just gonna go straight for the end, because I was already way over leveled.
I figured this was going to be a problem because I personally believe the first game had the Final Fantasy Remake had the perfect balance of side content
Yeah.
with story progression. This is one of the biggest, like, most important story driven games like ever made, right? And I understand them wanting to expand it and build out the lore and kind of add to it, but they went on this whole thing where I think they just went overboard and did too much. The Chadley stuff is just absurd how much there is.
It was like they would challenge themselves to put as much content in the game as possible, and they did it successfully. Don't get me wrong, because there was a lot to do in all the open worlds, in all the regions in the game,
and it was fun.
But eventually, that fun gets stale, and eventually it just starts getting tiring, less fun and more just like tiring at that point.
Yeah.
You know?
Because it's the towers, and then there's like those like rocks that you hit and it unlocks stuff, and then there's the monster trials, which are kind of like the fates in Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah, the monster trials, I didn't mind that because they had a variety of challenges to try and complete, but you have to do different things and do in different ways. That was nice. I don't mind that one, but like, yeah, it's overall that's why it gets a 9.5 out of 10, because everything else was spectacular. The voice acting, 10 out of 10. The scenery.
Can I interject on that?
Yeah.
Real quick. So I've been watching. Like, I actually was there to watch Dill finish Final Fantasy 7.
Yeah. And
well, first of all, congratulations, and second of all, you're an absolute madman for just letting your entire party hang around like at 500 HP, one hit away from death, and instead of healing your party using a limit break, you an absolute insane person, you. But anyway, the voice acting is actually like, not that the voice acting was bad, but it's the fact that like during battle, like if you're a content creator, you can't talk during battles because everyone is saying something, because like I don't know, like certain parts of the game, emotional, heavy, powerful moment, combat, you're in combat, because you're trying to get revenge or whatever, and then all of a sudden you just hear fucking Yuffie saying, haha, got you now,
God.
got your nose.
Yeah, they would repeat a lot of dialogue.
Suck my dick.
Yeah. Okay. Voice acting gets a 9 out of 10 for that one then.
Yeah, I'm like, I was experiencing the same thing watching people play Final Fantasy 16, but it's like, I get it, JRPGs, characters talk a lot, but can you please fucking shut the fuck up and let me enjoy the game for once without announcing every single thing you're doing?
Genre specialty.
Yeah, Zenith.
They're all like that.
Are you new to this club? Like,
yeah, I'm not new to, but like at the same time though, I'm just like used to playing games like Diablo, where if anything, your character just runs like 500 times and just never says any like voice lines.
That's why you like Legend of Zelda, because that's all Link does.
Yeah, he's just there to grunt and scream and go tick tick tick. Yeah. See, rolls around Hyrule.
So so I do want to know, but I think before I ask here, so from my standpoint, 10, 11 hours in, the main story driven points of the game are great. I think that it's got a good flow to it in terms of that. The open world stuff does slow it down because you'll run into random crap while you're in the middle of a quest, and then that kind of becomes derailing and gets a little annoying. Because like, I have no problem with the side content or doing side quests in the game, because some of them you do have to do to progress the story, but you run into more side content when you're trying to finish a quest, and it just kind of gets overwhelming and annoying. And if you're one of those people that just cannot stay focused and on track when you do these things, it's completely derailing. It'll derail your playthroughs, and I find that design to be a little tedious.
I think to interject there as well, the one thing that I always was getting annoyed by as well whilst doing side content was that the little chocobo that comes up to you and then
you pet
points
him.
It points you towards the chocobo stop. I'm like, you're cute, but I'm trying to focus on this. Come on.
And then there's like the chocobo quest. You need to get certain chocobos to get to certain regions of the map and all that stuff. And I'm like, oh god, here we go. This is the kind of stuff I despise in games where it's like you have to do this in order to unlock this, and I'm like, okay, whatever, right?
Yeah, I think a lot of it is they're trying so hard to build a game that has a lot of things to do, and they feel like they're adding a lot of purpose to the reason why you have to do like a multitude of things, but they also don't have the ability to step into the shoes of someone that isn't going to go in there with rose-colored glasses,
right?
And be like, oh my gosh, Final Fantasy VII is live. I'm going to name my my first child Sephiroth and hope that doesn't kill my second child Cloud. And then they but like for like just someone that wants to experience Final Fantasy VII, they're clearly out of touch of what like a regular RPG fan would kind of want for a game by overloading you guys with overloading us with like a lot of like side content that just feels
they're
boring,
trying to find the middle ground.
Boring, tedious, whole bunch of copy pasted kind of stuff that just feels like it's a waste of time and not properly utilizing their resources, where it feels sometimes like after like from watching Final Fantasy VII, it felt like one of those like cheap MMOs where here's a whole bunch of just content for the fucking sake of it, and nothing really matters as much as purpose of doing this.
I will
It's
say,
ironic because Final Fantasy 14 is basically that.
That's also The Legend of Zelda.
Well, yes,
Tears of
to
the
an
Kingdom?
extent.
yeah,
Tears of
I
the
would
Kingdom
agree.
had a lot of side stuff.
There's a lot of stuff that you don't have to do, but you can do because it just means you get more gameplay out of it.
Yeah, that's why still
You just pick and
to this day,
choose.
Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, there's a lot of stuff in those games that I haven't even bothered to touch because it kind of falls under the exact same trope. It's like, why am I doing this? Why do I need to do this? Why do I have to care? Because I don't.
It's not game ruining though.
No, it's not. But it's like when they force you to do these kinds of things, which I think, Dill, did they say that they were forcing you to do this?
Which one?
Something like the Chocobo collecting stuff.
The Chocobo collecting
yeah.
stuff you had to do. Yeah, you had to get, because there was some regions we had to have a certain Chocobo in order to traverse, basically.
Yeah, it becomes this. I will say, like, for example, like Everis says, Tears of the Kingdom. I thought Tears of the Kingdom was a fantastic game. At the end, I was like, okay, this is a great game. I could have done Tears of the Kingdom without the whole Zonite building process of the whole game. I could have done Tears of the Kingdom without that, and I would have still thought it was a great game. Full disclosure, I felt like the building stuff in that thing was just there.
Then it's just Breath of the Wild 2.0.
Yeah, that's why. And also all the memes that came from it, and the
Right.
you know, the Korok, cooking. That
Yeah,
wouldn't
you
have
need to
happened.
build a flaming cock man
Yeah.
that flies into space.
And the balls explode.
Yes.
So, some of my opinions on Final Fantasy, I can see here, and I believe this with the utmost honesty, they were putting way more effort into Final Fantasy VII Rebirth than they were Final Fantasy 16.
Absolutely. 100%.
Way more has gone into
100%.
7 versus 16.
That was my argument last time. Is like I felt disappointed that they're not putting these new games with the same love and the same like storytelling and effort as the old stuff.
Mm.
And
It's not-
it's so I know it's kind of a bummer.
And that's
like, why
partially
should
our fault.
Why should I
Yes.
care about Final Fantasy 17? You know what I mean? Because we know that's going to be a thing someday.
And that's the thing too. That's partially our fault. Like, we do that to ourselves, where it's like, oh, I love Final Fantasy 7. Like, there is no Final Fantasy better than Final Fantasy 7, which is not true. There are Final Fantasies that are better than 7. But it's like, that's my Final Fantasy 7. That's my Final Fantasy, my Cloud, my Aerith, my Tifa. No other characters exist, versus that whole thing. And then there's some people that feel the same way about 10 and 9 and 8. But we do
Everyone's
that to ourselves.
got a Final Fantasy that they like, basically.
Which is an interesting point, Everis, because I want to see what your opinion is going to be when the next Witcher game comes. and I want to see how you're going to react to the characters.
That's what makes me worried about it, is that they put 3 games toward this one character, and now they're switching it up, and that's going to make it weird because we've spent so much time with Geralt, and now it's not Geralt anymore. And so they've kind of put that on themselves with the way that they've set up the whole Witcher world, is that they have spent so much time on Geralt and now they're not. And that's not necessarily our fault. They're just like,
it's
okay, we're done with Geralt. The thing is, it's based off the book.
If I may say, like, I thought that, like, The Witcher was regarding to, Geralt, who is they're aiming their story towards one Witcher. Like, otherwise you'd be calling the game a Witcher. Right?
Right.
Yeah,
not the Witcher.
like the Witcher versus a Witcher, yeah, or just Witcher, yeah. That's gonna be a hard task to achieve, because we identify Witchers as Geralt, and even though they did try and pull in other Witcher beings into the storyline, be like, oh yeah, Geralt's not the only one left, there's this whole other universe or whatever, and they exist. They didn't do it enough to where we separate ourselves from Geralt, and that's gonna be a hard challenge to overcome. Whereas Final Fantasy, we didn't expect every single game to have different characters, so it's almost worse. It's almost gonna be harder for me, I think, to
It's going to be a thing.
But
like I said, I'm interested to hear when it comes. I'm interested to hear what's your opinion on this whole thing, because we're going to expect a full report out of you when that thing drops.
I expect a whole episode to be. I'm just kidding.
It might be. It might be.
I don't know.
That is one of those games. So, but it's one of those things. So, like, I can definitely tell that they spent more time on 7 than they did 16. There was a lot more effort into it. It's from a technical standpoint, this game is a masterpiece in what they are doing.
Holy crap.
They paid attention to the community from the first game, and they fixed a lot of things that were problems in the first game. One of the problems you run into in Final Fantasy VII is, like, you break the party up, and the parties, you break the party up into different parties for different situations, and, like, you have your materias, stacked up certain ways between certain characters, and then you don't take that character. So now you don't have your fire, you don't have your healing, and all that kind of stuff with you in the current party. They have now added, they've added side abilities that allow you to use these elemental materia attacks without using MP. So, like, if your character does not have a fire materia, but they can have a side ability that will use a fire elemental, which helps you take out these bosses, it actually helps a lot.
That's on the skill tree that they've implemented into each of the characters.
Yeah, the skill tree helps a whole bunch of problems if you actually pay attention to the skill tree and use it correctly. And it makes the game flow a lot better, because I personally don't like spending a lot of time in a customization menu, like, stacking up armors and stacking up, spells and materias and all that. I don't like spending time doing that, at least an exorbitant amount. I like to kind of be in and out and have my character set them a certain, like, I'll have one that's a healer, I'll have one that's, fire and wind, and I'll set them up certain ways. Now, if I forget or don't have time to switch them around, like before a battle, they now have skill sets that you can apply to them that will fix that problem to an extent and help you progress through the game, which helps a lot. We've gone over the open world stuff. We've gone through the Chadley stuff.
Yeah.
Story-wise, there's a lot of stuff that's kind of branching out from the original game. I'm kind of having a hard time realizing where I'm at from the original game, like the OG Final Fantasy VII. I'm kind of getting an idea. I've gotten to Yuffie, so
so you're on chapter 7.
I believe so.
No. You don't meet Yuffie a bit earlier than that, but chapter 5.
I'm making my way out of Junon, which is the second major part
chapter
of this
5
game.
Then you're on.
Yeah, I'm making my way out of Junon, which is the second major part of this game. So before we kind of close that, there's still a lot of work to get done in this thing. We're gonna ease off of Final Fantasy VII for a while now that Dill is finishing it and I'm making my way through it. We'll ease off it. But I do want to know, Dill, the thing, without spoiling the thing, does it happen in this? Is it happen in this game?
Crickets.
You can always ask me, Eric, if you're afraid of Dill spoiling it.
You can always ask me in the DMs. That's all I have to say.
Okay.
A certain pivotal moment does happen.
Something does happen. Let's put it like that.
Okay.
We all do that. We all knew something was gonna happen.
And we're sending you some redacted crickets.
Okay. Well, don't tell me if it does. Okay, redacted crickets. Okay. I thought you were putting something in the chat. Okay. If it does all the content of how you romance them or build your partnerships and their attitude towards you and all that stuff, does it have an effect on it?
I'm going to let you figure that out for yourself.
Yeah.
Really?
Disappointed.
We'll let you figure that out yourself, Eric, while you're in your playthrough, depending on who wants a romance in that playthrough.
Cling
so I'm gonna
to
guess.
Lovelies, Eric.
I'm gonna guess.
Cling
This is all
to them.
Yes.
Don't ruin it like how Harry Potter was ruined for Eric.
Because you go ahead and romance that dog, Eric.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Zen was there when I finished the game, so he wanted to see what actually happened as well, so he knows what happens in Rebirth too.
So I'm gonna guess because I fully intend to finish it this year. I'm gonna guess
because we all know you ruined a certain franchise. Wait, no, that was Everis. You know what? You have every right to say this.
No, I'm not going to do that.
I personally don't care about spoilers because for me, it's about the journey, not the destination. Like
she also liked Final Fantasy 16 more, and she was disappointed that 7 stole the thunder.
She only liked Final Fantasy 16 more because all the characters were hot.
That's not at all
I
what
already
happened.
have issues with 16. But...
Okay, but so I'm going to guess that the event happens no matter what. But the stuff that happens in terms of partner building, I don't know what that mechanic, how to call that mechanic, but the partner building or the relationship building, I'm going to guess that the event happening has that effect. Those partner relationships affect how you react to the event. That's what I'm going to guess.
Here's my response to you, Eric.
All I can say is when it does happen, it kind of ties in the old and the new.
Holy shit! Okay,
that's all I'm going to say.
I got some work to get done.
That's all I'm going to say.
Get on it.
Is this at the end or is this more...
end? Yeah.
They did exactly what they did in the original game. Okay, I get it. All right. So yeah, that's Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. $69.99 on the Sony platform.
Yeah. 4 weeks and 106 hours of gameplay. Well, worth it.
On that note, or well, not on that note specifically, but you've got this interesting Pokemon challenge. We'll touch on this a little bit, but you've got this interesting Pokemon challenge that Zenith insisted you must share with us still.
Yes, so after Rebirth, I contemplated what I wanted to do next, and my community decided that I should go back to Kaizo Ironmon. For those who don't know what Kaizo Ironmon is, it's probably one of the hardest Pokemon challenges to ever do. You're only allowed one Pokemon throughout the entire run. If you die, you have to start all over again from the beginning again, and you're not allowed to heal outside of battle.
You can't buy items from the store.
Can't buy them from the store except for repels, and everything's randomized. Moves are randomized, Pokemon's randomized, abilities, everything basically. And your objective is to get to the end.
I know someone that is doing Pokemon Fire at Kaizo Ironmon, and he's over 2,000 attempts. He's been doing it for like over a year and a half, and he's like, I'm never going to beat this thing.
I mean, I'm currently on attempt 164 now.
What the fuck? Already?
Yeah, I did 130 attempts in the space of the last 4 streams that I did.
What happened?
I got a little bit carried away.
What's the furthest that you gotten?
I got to Vermilion City. Vermilion City, yeah. With Hera the Heracross.
My furthest run was getting to Lavender. I almost made it, but I ran into a trainer just outside of Lavender, and I had no PP left, and I died to Flygon. I was so sad.
I
it was my
ran
cocaine
into...
bear.
Yeah.
Yes, I had literally cocaine bear where it had just nothing but special attack and like no defense.
Yeah.
Wait, it's called Cocaine Bear?
Yeah, it was Ursaring, which is a Gen 2 Pokemon, and I named him Cocaine Bear.
Oh, I thought this was an actual character named Cocaine Bear. I'm like, that's
No,
awesome.
not in Pokemon.
Because his stats were, it was all pumped into its special attack, but it had no defense, no special defense, and it could like die to like a gentle breeze, but it had like all the attack in the world, and it was funny.
Yeah. And with Hera the Heracross, it died to a gust of wind. Like a Swampert that had gusts, because it had low defense and 180 HP, by the way. Like over 180 HP, but had low defense, and it faced a Swampert with gusts. And that's it.
You're at 100.
Oh yeah, 4 times effective. Yeah. Rest in peace.
So how many runs do you think this is going to take you?
Well, the current run that I have right now, I've got a Charizard that I've called These Nuts, and hopefully I can get it past Brock, because after Hera the Heracross, I couldn't get past Brock. So I haven't been able to get past Brock for like the
Dill's been struggling to get past like the first trainer. That's Kaizo Ironmon in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Just nothing but dying, going back to the lab, dying.
And I will say, a little fun thing that I do for these runs is I do predictions for like if I can make it to a certain point, you know, so past like Viridian Forest, the rival battle, the first gym leader. Chibi, who's in chat right now, she actually won over 100,000 channel points in my channel from a community member of mine because of her predictions being right. So she has over 100,000 channel points now in my channel because of the predictions. Like,
nice.
Yeah.
Way to go, Chibi.
Yeah.
Well,
so yeah.
We'll check back on you in like 4 years still when you finish this thing at the rate you're moving.
And also I got a Jolteon with Levitate as well. I had a Jolteon with Levitate for one run, which basically makes it have no weakness. But it had low special defense, and the first trainer I fought had special attacking moves. So it died very quickly. And I named it
after
Zenith.
me, you asshole.
What? Because it's a spiky boy. It's a spiky hair boy. So I just...
His hair's not spiky.
He uses hair gel.
Kind of is.
Yeah. I will say Demi was there when I named it, and it was like, that's a good name.
Spiky boy. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
but yeah, check back to me in like a year's time.
We'll check back in a year when Dill gets to run 7,825,000.
I will say one thing as well. I am going to be starting a new game as well next week, and I did a little thing where I did a wheel spin, but I didn't have the game names. I had the platform that they're going to be played on instead. Oh. Yeah, so I put Nintendo, Xbox, PC, and PlayStation. And Xbox got picked. So I'm playing an Xbox Game Pass game on Tuesday.
What did we land on? Okay,
we'll save it. You have to come out of the stream.
Non-rebirth.
Yeah. Also, Demi hates me because I haven't told her what it is. And she hates not knowing.
Xbox doesn't have exclusives, so you're just streaming Netflix on Twitch.
Maybe I am. We'll find. I mean, if I don't,
Phil Spencer fucking presentations on Twitch.tv.
I mean, I feel like if I do that, Jeff Bezos will probably descend upon my house and wonder what I'm doing.
I wonder if they hang out with each other at the country club or whatever.
Probably.
All right, Zenith's up. Zenith, you finished the Doom Eternal.
Mm-hmm.
Was it brutally crushing?
Well, I was playing on one of the harder difficulties on PC, and I'm not a FPS kind of guy, but the game's so fun. I fucking love it, and I mean, there's nothing more. Just like, cause like I played it right after that bad interview that I had. After being like completely soaked in the rain on the other side of the city.
Stress relief.
So. I mean, I'm like in the depths of hell listening to just blaring heavy metal in my ears, just like, you know, throat punching demons. And I'm just like, This is so fucking cool. Oh
So
my
you're
god.
just like this kid with teenage angst just raging at this game.
Yes,
in your
Doom
world.
Eternal brings out my inner teenage angst that I still haven't
Play-
let go.
Just play Doom Eternal, My Chemical Romance. It's a match made in heaven.
No, My Chemical Romance is not Doom music.
Okay.
That's true. That's true.
I mean, you can
I
always
don't think
like.
you've heard any heavy metal in your life,
it's
have
more,
you, Dale?
It's more like Slayer and Children
don't
of
know, I
Bodom
just-
style.
I just think of like playing like mixed Doom Eternal with like very cutesy wootsy music, and then that's quite an interesting combination.
I'm just imagining Dill's like, all right, I'm gonna prepare myself for playing Doom Eternal. Let me put the most
Did
metal
you say
things on.
Gootsy wootsy?
Yeah, cutesy wootsy music.
Oh my god.
I hope
But
someone
like,
out there should mod the game and put the Animal Crossing soundtrack into
Oh.
Doom Eternal.
Yeah.
Someone probably has. It won't surprise me because
Or Stardew Valley or one of those.
Yeah,
Like
because
just
I think canonically Isabel and Doomslayer are married. So
Okay.
what?
yeah,
What weird
Smash Bros.
person in their head came
Yeah.
up with this?
Smash Bros. Smash Bros. That's who came up with it.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
basically, Doom guys and Isabel's ship name is a hell.
Yeah,
I like it.
Oh.
It's a hell.
I could roll with that. That's a good one. That's a good name. That's A1 work.
Yeah.
Well, congrats to that. I'm still working my way through Doom. I actually did another episode of Back to the Backlog last week and or the week before, and that'll be up soon. But still working my way. That game's crushingly annoyingly hard. Like in
Which
some
game?
Yeah.
the
Doom
I'm doing
2016
Doom,
is way harder than Eternal.
It is.
yeah,
It
I'm
is.
doing Doom
Because-
2016.
Okay.
Because like there's way less mobility in 2016 because in Doom Eternal, if a lot of enemies are firing at you, you have a thing where you can dash out of the way.
Yeah.
And
Doom.
and like that, like you have 1-ups where if you die, you just keep fighting, and if you like fall into a hole or a pit, in Doom 2016, you're dead and you got to respawn back to the last checkpoint. Whereas Doom Eternal, you respawn back to where you were, you just lose some health.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a
Doom
huge
Eternal.
improvement because half my time spent in
Yeah.
Doom 2016 dying is me falling off of like ledges, trying to
Yeah,
like
they fixed that
outrun
in
shit.
Doom Eternal.
Good.
Yeah. Like
It's
honestly,
hard.
after playing Doom Eternal, like I have no reason to go back to 2016 because it's not nearly as fun.
It's hard. Doom 2016.
I'm not saying it's a bad game. It's just they really improved on a lot
They
of things.
made it more friendly for the
yeah,
average
it's
player.
crushingly hard. 2016 is crushingly hard, and it's driving
Yeah.
me nuts. But congrats! And then you're also. I want to know what you're randomizing because you've got an 8-game randomizer apparently
Everything.
come out here.
Everything.
So I've been working on this for about just over a week. I finished my 4th day of doing what's called the no logic randomized roulette. So these are challenges that I do approximately, sometimes once a year, but this time I'm added more because of we hit a certain stretch goal. So I'm randomizing the following games: Zelda Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Twilight Princess, Skyward Sword, Link to the Past, Minish Cap, Link Between Worlds, and the one non-Zelda game or everyone's favorite Zelda game, Donkey Kong 64.
Hey, okay.
So the reason why it's only these 8 games, because I usually do them when they're about like 10 games, is they all have one thing in common: a setting called no logic. So what that is all the items are shuffled in a sense where, to first quickly explain. So randomizer, whenever you play one, it always randomizes items in a way where you find something, it's going to unlock areas where you find the next item you need to progress through the game until you have everything you need in order to beat the game. So randomizers, they are meant to, even if you don't know exactly where everything is, the intention is for you to be able to beat the game at one point or another once you find all the items you need. Whereas in no logic, it shuffles things anywhere with no regard of whether or not you can beat it or not. So in some cases, for example, Eric, you play Majora's Mask, right?
Right.
So in a no logic, what will sometimes happen is you need to be wearing the Zora mask to speak to this one dude who gives you an item. But in a no logic, that dude will give you the Zora mask, which is what you actually need to be wearing in order to give to him. So in that case, it's like, well, I can't get that mask. Looks like I'm not getting that. So, and a lot of times, I have to use tricks and glitches in order to find the things I need. So, for example, Majora's Mask, I have to use bombs to fly through the air. Otherwise, I'm not getting anywhere. Twilight Princess, I have to use boomerangs to jump like giant like valleys and chasms in order to get to places that I'm not supposed to be going to. Same thing for Ocarina of Time. I've had myself killed in Lake Hylia and sank to the bottom through the water and swim up to the water temple as like young Link. I have to do stuff like that. Hell, in Link to the Past, yesterday I learned how to essentially slip through the walls and access any dungeon I want and learn how to go swimming without the flippers. So there's a lot of tricks and glitches that go through, and so I've done things differently where I've tasked, because currently for this roulette I had 32 people total. So yes, 32 people sent in their predictions of the order in which we conclude the game and if it is beatable or not. So we've finished through 3. Some of them we've like Minish Cap was done in 5 minutes because there's nothing we could do. Link to the Past, even after that, still, but it's been a lot of fun, and it's been crazy seeing if what is beatable, what's not. Yeah, it's been fun. That's what I've been doing.
Because there's like some of these are just not going to be beatable, right? Because the thing's going to randomize you in a way where it's just going to hard lock you out of.
Yeah,
exactly.
I'd say most of them aren't beatable.
Yeah, most of them
sounds like it.
Yeah. I'm actually tied for first with 4 other people, but only it's not because like I have the most correct guesses of the order which the games have been beaten, but mostly because all the games that I said weren't beatable didn't end up being beatable anyway. So it's kind of been interesting seeing how people have been getting their points. But Twilight Princess, I have literally every single item in the game except for the slingshot, which doesn't really matter if you have the bow. But if I find out that my one item that I need, which is supposed to be like a fused shadow thing, which like locks like the end dungeon, if it's in this one, basically it's like the old or hidden village of Kakariko Village in Twilight Princess. If it's there, I'm screwed. And I've poured hours in order for this game to be not beatable.
That's what I think is the appealing part of it, is like you'll get to like 25, 30 hours and then you'll find out this shit's not even beatable, and then your life was just wasted.
Yep, and a lot of people will be absolutely devastated and heartbroken because there's quite a few people that think it's beatable.
I don't know.
But we do have one beatable game though. We found everything for Link Between Worlds, but we still have like 4 dungeons to beat, so I just have to speed run.
How does that one work? Because in the whole mechanic behind Link Between Worlds was you could rent the weapons.
So instead of renting, they give you the items permanently.
Ah, okay.
So yeah, so the randomizer for it's pretty cool, but for some reason the wheel likes that game so much, and I've been extremely lucky, is I played it 5 times already. So like we play it for an hour and then we stop, so we spin a wheel and figure out which is next. Meanwhile, we played Majora's Mask once in the past 2.5 weeks.
Jeez. Majora's Mask is hard to begin with, but
yeah. Oh yeah, and Chibi is currently on the leaderboard.
Nice.
Yeah.
So
Majora's Mask is hard to begin with. That's one of the ones I always tell people, like in its regular setting, like the regular game, it's hard. It's hard.
Yeah, I can break the fuck out of the game. I like you can do a lot of things like fly through the air and just go anywhere you want. Like there's one where You know how there's like an owl statue in like Clocktown?
Yeah, Clocktown.
So if you activate the owl statue from the west part of Clocktown using a certain glitch, there's the thing that allows you to warp to every single owl statue in the game before you even get to those locations.
Interesting.
So I can go to Stone Tower within the first like 10 minutes.
That's wild. That's
yeah.
And the mechanics, like once the mechanics, like the randomizing of the mechanics are set, they're set, right? Like those aren't randomized.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so like I have to try and remember all these games like throughout like an entire month. And they always have this, well, I try and like be a little bit lenient, but the biggest thing is the challenge is not knowing they're beatable or not. So there's like quite a lot of intrigue.
And you won't know until you actually get through the whole thing.
Yep, but we shall see. I got 5 games left to go.
You'll get there. So yeah, that's Xenor's randomizer challenge. We've got Doom Eternal, we got Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and the most ridiculous ultimate Pokemon challenge I've ever heard in my life. So there you go. We'll be back shortly. We're gonna go ahead and take a break. This is Good Friends, Good Games, and we'll see you in a minute. Good Friends, Good Games is back. Zenith really wants to play Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and just get involved with Red X, and it's weird.
Oh, you should. Out. Yeah, he will probably.
It's just look at the look on his face.
I'm still living in the early 2000s. What's up, dog?
What happened in the early 2000s that justifies this?
You missed the last part of my job. You know, I'm all about that. What's up, dog?
Okay. Well, I guess this is the perfect segue. So, we all have lives outside of here. You know, outside of games.
Really?
And, this pod. You have the most fun out of all of us. Let's be realistic. You're out there on the water. You got your paddle boat thing going. You're just living.
That hasn't happened in 6 months because that's seriously the last time we had good weather. It was like 6 months ago.
To be entirely honest, I thought Everis is like living life so large that I, for like a solid minute, thought you came onto the podcast wearing a white bathrobe. I don't know why. That's such a poofy hoodie you're wearing.
It's a Twitch jumper. Even I saw the logo.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that Twitch like jumper embroidered?
That is cool.
Or is it silk screened?
It's really hard to okay, it's not embroidered, it's silkscreen, but it's like layers.
Okay.
If you look harder, there's actually like a yellow Twitch.
Oh,
like there's yellow and green and blue and purple.
Do I
and then
need
the
to
overlap
wear...
of them create the black effect?
Do I need to put 3D glasses on then in order to actually see it all properly?
No wonder why my eyes hurt.
Slight yellow tint or whatever.
It's giving me a headache.
This
That's
actually
cool.
isn't white. It's very, 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 very light blue.
Okay.
It looks.
Oh my gosh!
Like, white on there.
Let's see. I don't have anything. The only white thing compared to is my face.
Evers,
your hair.
Evers, you guys know what this is? Remember
Here's
that
a white
whole
bowl,
meme?
Here's my blue. See how like the
Those
difference?
look different.
Remember that whole meme that was going on for a while, where people couldn't tell the color of that one dress?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the gold and white versus the blue and black. Yeah.
Yeah. This is it all over again, but with Evers's shirt.
Anyway, so yeah.
Is your real name Laurel?
So yeah, Everis is living large out there on the paddle boat and just, living the dream. She gets her workouts in, she gets the pump on. So like, you have a life outside of here. So we all kind of have stuff that we do that, none of the other four amongst us or whatever see. So we had this question for ourselves here a little bit earlier. It's like, what are some of our guilty pleasures? What are some of the things we like to do or that we indulge in our own free time here that maybe one of us else on the panel would not necessarily understand why or see it as, as in Zenith said, like taking it back to the 2000s. I don't know what happened in Zenith's world back in 2000 that justifies what he's talking about, but you get
it was
what I'm
a
saying.
bit. It was a bit.
Sure it was.
Blame the
Sure
bit.
it was.
Doing it for the content, okay.
Do it for the content.
This was back in the 2000s, huh?
Are you making up your own theme song, too?
Do it for the content.
Can we record that? Can we get a recording of that? And
Probably.
we'll just
I mean,
put it on.
I mean, technically you have.
Do it for
If you need backup singers, we're here for you. Doing it for the content.
We'll all harmonize and do it with Dill. Okay, so let's kind of go around a little bit of a round robin here, and let's see what some of your weird guilty pleasures are. I want not weird. Don't creep us out, but let's like find out what some of our weird.
Yeah, we don't need to know about your Pornhub search history, okay?
No.
Jesus Christ, Zenith.
So just keep it to
I made
like
one.
PG.
I made one
Hey,
joke. Made one joke.
Can we hashtag blame Everis trending in
Everis,
chat?
I thought you were about to say I made one search and that's it.
I made one joke.
The algorithm's out of control on Everest's phone now.
I made one search for Geralt and now I can't get out of his head.
The pause was definitely unintentional. I was trying to figure out how to phrase this without it. Turns out I just dug myself a
Can't go
hole.
on YouTube because the algorithm.
It's not even like sexual. It's just like Geralt baking a cake or like some stuff like that. Geralt
Erik baking a
pets
cake,
cats.
and it's just like Geralt with this like giant ass like cake ass.
Yeah, Geralt pets cats, like some shit like that.
Geralt strokes pussy.
Dill, Jesus Christ, Dill. Oh my God.
That's actually funny because cats are scared of witchers.
That's true. Actually.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's actually a funny
that.
joke. A funny joke, Dill.
Funny joke.
Okay, so I know I'm
She
gonna regret
definitely
this.
tossed a coin to her witcher, if you know what I
Indeed.
mean.
Mhm.
Oh.
He put that coin back in her like she was a vending machine.
In
Oh.
her, what did we call it? What did we call that? The space?
Oh, the forbidden crevice.
The forbidden crevice?
Your spatial crevice.
I know I'm gonna regret this, but Dill,
Huh?
tell us what some of your guilty pleasures outside of this stream are. He's gotta have one.
I don't know. I'm very boring. I don't know. I mean, obviously, gaming is my main thing. That's what I do, and like, I used to watch a lot of movies, and then
Okay.
I kind of like gotten out of that now, and I don't really watch a lot of movies anymore.
Okay, so to kind of like make to spice up this a little bit.
Hold on.
Is there like a certain kind of like movie or show that you'd watch that?
I'm going to go even further and say if you showed us your YouTube history, there would be nothing you'd be ashamed of.
Let's have a look.
Let's have a look. You're supposed to say no.
I mean,
Yes.
I don't know.
The first search result is just like Tifa giant boobs mod.
On YouTube? Really?
How to install it.
I mean, on my YouTube search history, most of what I've watched have been shorts. Really.
Okay.
And like, there's a content creator that I started watching called Pirate Software that's been pretty. I love
really Pirate
enjoying.
Software.
Yeah,
I love that guy's content.
I got into his content through shorts, and then like I just followed him, and like I have his stream on the background every time I'm working on something.
So,
like,
are you saying you're developing an interest in hacking, ethical hacking?
Well, don't. I wouldn't say that. It's more just like he has an aura and like a voice that like makes me more motivated to work on like content creation, basically. When
Okay.
so that's why I have him on in the background when I'm like working on something, because I can listen to him and I can enjoy what he's saying, and then I can just continue working on my own stuff. You know.
So so he has a normal YouTube history, which I didn't think was actually going to be the case. I thought Dill was going to have the weirdest of weird in his YouTube
No, I
history.
think Dill saves up all of his like weirdness for this podcast. To be honest.
Oh,
That's
absolutely.
true. That's true.
I-
You know what?
I'm
Good
very
call.
I think.
reserved until I encounter people that I get along with, and then the crazy comes out.
Okay.
I
So
see that.
let's pivot this here a little bit. Okay. So you said you're a big movie guy.
I used to be, yeah.
Okay.
Like-
I mean, I don't think it ever leaves you. I think you're to an extent you're
I've-
probably a movie guy. So what I want to know, what is that guilty?
Until the movies aren't good anymore.
Oh, that's a fair point.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think we all grew up watching like the Marvel Cinematic Universe, didn't we?
I mean, I was
Like,
already grown
yeah.
up, but
Yeah.
I've
well,
kind of
yeah.
grown out of it a little bit, to be entirely honest. I haven't really been watching it.
Yeah. That's same. Up until like I think the last Spider-Man movie, No Way Home, I was all caught up, and then after that, I tried watching other things, and I just
Yeah.
got.
I watched
bored.
Loki, and that's about it. You know what ruined it for me? The Boys. The
Yeah.
Boys was so good.
No, not
Oh, I
just the
never watched
Boys.
it.
Invincible as well. I watched that.
I
and I
haven't
was just
watched
like,
Invincible.
Invincible's so
Okay.
good.
Yeah,
It's
Robert-
Basically, Eric,
Yeah.
have you heard of these shows?
I have not watched The Boys or Invincible, but Invincible is actually written by Robert Kirkham of
Yeah.
Walking Dead fame.
Yeah, you
Um,
should watch. You should actually watch.
And then
you
The
would love them.
Boys, I haven't seen The Boys yet. I forget who writes The Boys, but
What's his name?
The guys that
Oh.
did Supernatural.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, The Boys is a mix of funny, but also gritty. Whereas, like, if you are like what like a superhero in actual real life would be like, they would be pompous, egotistical, and have all these like dark, shady secrets where
yeah.
they can use their powers to see what they can get away with.
Oh, it literally
Yeah.
rips off Deadpool to an extent, character-wise, then, like personality-wise, kind of in
Think
a way.
Deadpool, but on a much more
Excuse me.
like
That fucked up.
wider, worldwide, fucked up scale. You
Yeah,
know?
Oh,
yeah, where the
God.
superheroes are not the heroes; they're the villains.
Mm.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay, and this is on Amazon. I can take it, or
Amazon Prime. Yeah.
Oh,
Amazon
okay.
Prime.
Yeah.
We can dump into this here. Okay.
It's incredible.
So, but I want to know the weird movie deal. What is like some weird movie you had to have one?
I don't know the name of the movie.
You
never
don't have,
had
like, a
You think
weird
of something, but you don't know
show
the
or
name of
something?
it.
I don't know. Like I just watch movies. And,
Like, you know how
TV
like some
shows.
people have like where I know one person where they just like they like going to see The Room with Tommy Wiseau.
I've never seen the room.
Like,
Oh, hi.
is there like
I've not-
yes,
I've-
is there like a
I've-
certain movie like that, or just clear cut garbage that you just soak up and you just enjoy it because it's comforting to you?
This is not working out how I thought it was gonna work out. Okay, I'll help here. I'm gonna give you and okay. I don't share this with anybody. I've only shared this with Pal. All right, so here we go. I have a guilty pleasure movie, and every time it's on, I watch it. Now you're gonna probably wonder, like, oh, I don't know what the hell. So, for some strange odd reason, I have this thing for that movie, The Devil Wears Prada.
I love that
okay.
movie.
I do
I
not
love
know
that movie.
why. I do
I
not
love
know
that
why.
movie. Oh,
I
love
can
that
see
movie.
why, like, Everis would like it, right? Like, it's a movie
I've
clearly geared towards like romantic
I'm-
comedy that women would be interested in, right? But for some strange odd reason, I watch this movie every time it's on. I
I've
don't know
never
why.
watched that.
Because Meryl Streep, hello,
Yes, Meryl
she
Streep
is
has
a
a thing
goddess.
going for her.
She is a goddess. She is so good.
So, Dill, you might actually like this movie because Meryl Streep plays
I
a character
probably
that's
will.
right up your alley in this movie.
I probably would.
She literally is right up your alley in terms of mature woman.
How old is Meryl Streep?
She-
70?
Meryl
Oh.
Streep. She's 74 years old.
That's amazing. This movie though is like 10 years old or something like that.
Yeah.
This
it
movie
actually
is nearly
has-
20 years old, actually. 18,
Yeah.
18 years ago it was made.
She's
She's
actually
just-
like, it's got a young Anne
Ugh.
Hathaway in it.
Mhm.
Yes.
Very young in it. So,
And Emily Blunt.
that's right. Emily Blunt's in it too.
Yep.
I think the one thing I know about The Devil Wears Prada is that John Krasinski basically like loved that movie and then ended up getting together with Emily Blunt.
Yeah, he
after that.
married Emily Blunt.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Okay, so that's the example I'm trying to give here, Dil. Like, it's one of those movies where you wouldn't think that Eric would watch a movie like this, but I actually genuinely like that movie and I watch all the time. I even read the
You
book
know-
after.
I was gonna say
cool.
it was based off a book.
Right. And the book's horrible.
Is it?
Is it?
The character, the Anne Hathaway character in the book is just completely different and to the point where she's
Okay.
unlikable. Like, she's just unlikable in a book. She's a complainer in the book versus in the movie, she's a little more likable. And
So in the you said the movie version of the book is better than the book itself.
I would attest that, yes.
It's kind of how I feel about the Boys comic versus the Boys actual TV show. The TV show is way better than the comics.
And that's a possibility too.
Yeah,
So
it is.
So that's one of my guilty pleasures, but let's roll back. So Dill, do you not have anything to kind of like fit that mold now, or do you really just not?
I don't have anything from the top of my head. Like I grew up watching Cartoon Network shows. I grew up watching Pixar movies, DreamWorks movies, that kind of stuff. And there's not one thing that I watch. There's just a collection of things that I always used to watch, and that's really it.
Do you have any hobbies that you would be interested in, like taking on or trying outside of games? Like, is there anything you've always wanted to do?
Crochet.
No,
I can see
Making
Dill
paper
doing this.
cranes.
no, I don't have patience for crocheting. I don't think I have a patience for crocheting. Honestly.
Lego.
I don't know.
Like,
Lego,
is that a
possibly.
guilty pleasure though?
It's
Yeah.
an expensive
for some
pleasure.
it is.
I mean, it's like I feel like it's respected no matter what.
Some people use
Like-
it like as a relaxation
You
mechanism.
can buy adults Legos and no one's gonna judge you for it. Like it's just one of those
I'm
things
okay. Like no, one movie has come to my mind that I've watched more than a dozen times:
Okay, here we go.
The Dark Knight.
That's not a
That's not a guilty pleasure.
that's not a guilty pleasure.
It's a movie that I've watched
mean-
more than a dozen times.
You know
But
what?
it's
Now-
I
something
kind of get that.
It's something that someone's gonna look at you and have this like think, oh, I know everything about Dill, and you're
Now-
gonna be like, no, you don't.
Yeah, because like
If
I
it
gotta
was-
have like
watched
something
this and I
similar.
like it.
Because you want to know what I do? On every time it's February 2nd, I will go out of my way and
Do you
rent.
watch Groundhog Day?
Yes, I rent Groundhog Day
Yeah.
every February 2nd because for some reason
I've-
it's a comfort show on
I've
February
never
2nd.
seen Groundhog Day.
I don't know why, and I don't
That's a
like
good
Bill
one.
Murray, but I just like the movie.
Demi says, I
The
feel
Barbie
Dill
movies.
rewatches the Barbie movies.
Have I ever
Oh.
seen a Barbie movie before?
It actually reminds me, I did watch like a video where one guy had to make himself suffer by watching all the Barbie
I've-
movies in chronological order.
I know the guy you're talking about.
Ted
I've watched
Nivison,
that
right?
video. Ted Nivison, yeah, I've seen it. He went insane.
yeah, I was insane watching it.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's we'll lay off Dill here because I think we're just we're trying to squeeze something out of him that just doesn't exist. So we're not going to do that.
I'm
anymore.
sorry. I'm just like I'm not a very interesting person or outside of
We're
video
milking
games.
a dill cow.
I've discovered this. Like
Milk the cow.
video games are my personality. Outside of that, I'm a boring fart.
You're not a boring fart. Don't
You're not
insult
boring.
yourself. No,
Did you say fart or fop?
Fart.
he said fart.
Farts.
He's a boring
done.
fob, as in like that thing that lets you inside your building.
Guilty food pleasure. I like pizza.
We all like pizza.
I would be more like you don't like pizza. Then I would feel like whoa, whoa.
I mean,
Um,
Morgan hates chocolate.
I like
Morgan,
chocolate.
see, Morgan is weird
She's from
Morgan's-
space.
Morgan's got some weird stuff going on. She never tried cake,
Ooh.
and the first cake she ever decides to try is angel food cake, which is literal
Ooh,
ass
what?
cake. Like
I love angel
She
food
had a
cake.
bagel for the first
no,
time,
no,
and she
no.
was like, "Why is it sweet?"
Angel
I'm
food
like,
cake is like the guilt-free cake that you can have.
yeah, but she was eating it plain, like with nothing on it.
Plain. What the fuck?
She was basically
Like-
eating styrofoam. Like
I don't know.
Jesus
I can
Christ.
eat like bread plain.
bread
I
has
don't like-
taste.
I
Is
don't
it?
butter my bread. I typically
I
eat it
do.
plain
But the
because I
bread.
think bread it just has a delicious
Bread,
flavor that's like I don't need butter. I just eat the bread.
Well, okay, we're gonna save Dill some stress here.
Maybe we'll
sorry.
inspire him.
Maybe we'll inspire him. Maybe we'll once we talk it out, he'll come up with something. It'll get that Dill jolt in his head. I'm on Zenith right now, so Zenith, your spotlight's up. So, what is this one? I'm scared of too. Like
I am a little scared of it too.
Yeah, I'm a little. I regret this, but Zenith, share us your guilty pleasure.
What's his
Well,
suggestion after all?
so some of my guilty pleasures are I like pixel art, and I've
That's cool,
always had
though.
really
cool.
I've always loved doing like little bits of like pixel art and changing things with like colors. And in recent years, now that I'm able to actually use my pixel art and to do all my fancy like Zelda overlays, like it's been like a lot of fun for me. And sometimes when I'm stressed, I will actually open up Photoshop and get to work on some new art designs. But usually back then, I would just do art for the sake of doing art. But now I can be like, hey, I want to make something for stream, and I just get right to work on it.
See, that's not a guilty pleasure, but that's
That's
something
not a
about
guilty
Zenith.
pleasure.
But
yeah.
that is something I never knew.
Mm-hmm.
So okay,
Okay.
see, this is where we're getting at. Okay, this is the point of the topic here. Like that is something I never knew about Zenith. So there we go. That is interesting to me.
I used to actually do songwriting. I used to make comics based off of frogs.
What were the frogs' names?
Well, the main character was Froggy, and then
Of
he had
course.
a cousin who was basically like a gangster rapper. Like he was a frog that wore like a hat backwards and wore really baggy clothes and a big chain.
I'm not laughing because it's funny. I'm laughing because it's the cutest thing ever.
And he
and
also
I'm in
had
love.
another cousin who was literally a ninja.
And these three hung
So-
out together in this comic.
Yes.
Okay, I need a plot premise for this. How did these three come together?
Why doesn't Froggy
I
have
don't remember.
superpowers?
I was like 8 or 9 years old, all right?
Why doesn't Froggy have superpowers?
He didn't have superpowers, just one was a ninja.
Okay, so what was the ninja's
what was-
name?
The other one's a gangster.
It was Ninja Frog.
Okay,
And
okay.
the cool one was CK, because I think his name was Cool Kid Frog. And the main character, Froggy, was just some frog dude that just was the only frog in town that didn't wear clothes. And I don't know why I did that.
Was there 4 of them?
There's, well, technically 4 of them because he had a son. So he was a
Okay.
father.
All right. Cool.
Okay, so which one had the son? The gangster one?
No, the main character, Froggy.
Froggy.
Okay. So is Froggy
Did his
older
son
than
wear
the other
clothes?
ones?
His son wore a diaper, and his son tried to flush his father down the toilet.
Huh.
So he's a problem
That
child.
is fucking parent issues. Damn, father fucking
Yeah,
problems.
I had my own comic book corner when I was a kid, and some of my stories got so unhinged that the teacher decided to break up my frog corner.
Wow.
This is wild to me.
But there you go.
The level of creativity that you went into this with this whole thing.
Yeah, I was. It's what I did for about 3-4 years, and then I moved on to the next big thing when I was a kid. I made my own board games that was based off of video games.
I did that too.
Like
I did that too.
I stole all my parents' printer paper because I just drew my own boxes and made my own spaces, and then made my own board games based off of like things like Mario was my favorite one because like I could get creative with it and make it all like colorful and stuff. I did games based off of like Tomb Raider even back in the day.
I wanted to live in the world of Sesame Street, so I made a Sesame Street game.
I love that.
Yeah,
Aww.
I did. Yeah. Elmo had this like cool little room, all these cool little things, and his like goldfish, and you know, so I made my own cool little room with my own cool little goldfish.
And then for the longest time, because eventually my board games came to an end, and it wasn't because I grew out of them. It was because I discovered RPG Maker.
Yep.
2000,
Okay.
back when I was 13, 14. So I was making my own RPG games, like full-fledged dog crap. But
At least it
So
was
yeah,
full-fledged.
so I was just making like a whole bunch of games. I made a Zelda game. I made like a game that was kind of like based off like Fire Emblem. We had like permadeath. So a lot of this stuff was like some hobbies that, you know, were, I'm not exactly, they probably weren't like guilty pleasures. But if you want to talk about guilty pleasures, as far as like, you know, that are more recent, for some reason, one of the most relaxing things for me to do is to watch Breaking Bad all over again. Because for some reason, watching one of the most stress-inducing shows,
It's true.
where there's death, crime, and I don't know why, but there's nothing more relaxing than watching two dudes, one of them being bald, make blue crystal meth, and I'm like, this is relaxing. I'm finally at peace.
Looking at it 15 years later, Breaking Bad really was a wild concept.
Yeah,
Like,
it was insane.
pretty out there. So back to the frog comic thing. All right, we all kind of chuckled at it a little bit, right? But
Yeah.
I do want to go ahead and take a moment to acknowledge it. Is that we laugh at like that kind of like the idea, like, oh, it's a fucking hip hop frog and a ninja frog and all this kind of stuff, right? When there was literally two dudes sitting in a bar. One said, hey, I have an idea for a comic book, and drew a turtle with a ninja bandana and a sword on his back, and it became one of the most popular franchises of all time and made them millions of dollars. So I kind of reeled back, and I was like, okay, like I'm laughing because I was more laughing at the hip hop frog and his name being CK. I think that's just the most 90s thing ever.
He was very 90s, yes.
But the idea is like, hey, revisit it, draw up Ninja Frog and draw up Hip Hop Frog, and you know, and Froggy, and you never know, dude.
Yep.
The internet has opened up the world to people to find the things that they would like others would think weird, but it have it be their own little solitude place. And for someone out there was going to watch Froggy and CK and love every aspect of it. You know, you could start up one of those comic strip like Instagrams.
I actually found one of my old comic books.
Did you really? I love it finding stuff like that.
Yep, and it was done all in pencil, and it was like a little booklet. I didn't bother reading it because I got a lot of secondhand embarrassment reading some of the panels, but at the same time, I was like, I was 9 years old when I made this. Holy shit.
Put it on the gram.
If I don't think I have it anymore. It's either my mother has it or she probably torched it. So
Aw. I think you need to revisit these characters again.
I'd have to clone myself first because I have no time.
Yeah.
You know, I when you revisit it, please let us know. Okay, so like the Breaking Bad thing, I had a roommate who every single time it was on, he had to watch Jurassic Park and Aliens or Alien. Like those two movies, no matter what, he would stop what he was doing and just watch them on TV.
Okay.
He
You know
could be
what?
in the middle of work.
I have
and just
another
stop.
thing. A guilty pleasure of mine, as far as like watching shows, is I love movies and shows based around the concept of time. So if you think about it, every single February 2nd, I was watching. I will find one way or another to watch Groundhog Day.
Mhm.
Have you ever watched Doctor Who?
No,
we
I've
should
watched what was it?
Back to the
And then
Future,
like
I'm
you know,
assuming.
yeah, I watched Back to the Future. I've
obviously.
watched like I played a lot of games to do with like time. I mean, that's why like Zelda and
Life is Strange,
like hell.
maybe.
I actually haven't played Life is Strange,
Oh,
but I love the concept of time. Speaking, or even just people caught in a death loop, like or sort of in a time loop. Like think about like I used to watch the movie Click with Adam Sandler a lot. When I was in my
that
early
movie.
20s.
Good one.
Oh my god, that movie.
Oh, it's
kinda
a movie that Dill's seen. What?
Click, yeah. I think I saw the DVD somewhere. And that movie kind of traumatized me a little bit. Not gonna lie.
No. But I would say this: you guys have probably never heard of this movie, but it's a movie I've watched at least 10 times, and a lot of you might be wondering why the hell did you watch this? And it is a movie with Andy Samberg called Palm Springs, where he's caught in a time
I know
loop.
the movie you're talking about. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
So
Palm Springs.
yeah, it's on Amazon Prime. It's free.
Well, free with ads.
Let's see here.
Well, yeah, we showed that. Yeah, we watched it in Discord. I watched that movie like 10 times, and for some like, it's not that I just like it's the best movie ever, but
Zen
it's
just
just
wants
like
me to time loop so badly.
yeah, I just like time
Are
loops.
you into horror movies at all?
No, not really. However, I do love Last of Us. I watched The Walking Dead until the point where the show got really stale.
There is a movie. It's not overly gory or anything, but let me see. I have it. Let me see what it. Let me get the title for you here. Okay, so there's this movie. It was in 2017, and it's called Happy Death Day.
Oh yeah.
And what
Oh.
happens is this girl gets caught in a time loop, and she gets like the core of the time loop is that she's murdered, right? She gets murdered. So she comes up with all these different ways. Like she keeps re-exploring the time loop and tries to find a different way to avoid getting murdered.
Oh, that reminds me. I've actually been kind of curious about rewatching the movie Butterfly Effect.
Ah, that's
Oh,
a
yeah.
very similar concept too, Butterfly Effect.
Yeah.
So
I love these kinds of movies.
see, so there you
I
go.
think
That
I've
might
seen
be
that movie.
that might be interesting to you. Butterfly Effect or the Death Day one?
Yeah, like I think
Butterfly Effect.
I think my brother recommended an anime that was like it, and I'm not the biggest anime person, but if there's like a whole entire anime based off of like being stuck in time loops, I would love to watch it.
ReZero.
RE0.
Yeah.
The anime.
It's not quite a time loop, but he's stuck in an infinite loop of reincarnation, basically.
Interesting. Huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
All
So,
right.
I haven't watched it,
interesting.
but
I
I
didn't
know
know
the
about the
show.
comic thing. I knew somewhat about the board game thing because you had touched on it before. But the comic book thing is interesting, and just the idea that you had stories in your head that you wanted to tell.
Mhm.
You're up,
Thank you.
Everis. What do you got?
Nothing that's not typical. Like
Dill already took that position. You can't.
Yeah.
I know
have
he
nothing.
did, but it's like, oh, you're a girl. Okay, of course you're gonna be blah blah blah.
Doesn't
No,
matter.
it's still interesting.
What?
Interesting.
Valid.
So
Okay, I'm really into like historical like period dramas.
Okay.
Okay.
that's
Okay.
actually interesting. Tell us
I
more.
really dig that stuff, and it doesn't even have to be like female drama. It could be any, it could be kind of any time period. I'll watch pretty much any like Revolutionary War movie. It's kind of weird.
What is your
Um,
favorite like TV, like your period TV show? Like, what's your favorite period piece?
Right now, it's actually one that's still going. They just finished their second season last year, and they're in development. But the show's called. Hold on, let me think of what it is. It's called The Gilded Age, and it's set in a time period of the turning, kind of Thomas Edison era. Electricity is starting to become a thing. And it's the whole like people who, it's this social war between the old money versus new money. So people who are building railroads are suddenly getting very rich and they're becoming in society, but the people who had money for years and years and years and generations are like, well, you don't belong here because we've been here forever, and now you're deciding to just come up and decide you want to be a part of it all. And
is there a specific
it's that whole
era?
like,
is there a specific like era you're intrigued by that you always kind of gravitate towards, or is it just in general?
Not really, but it's like you gotta like appreciate the costuming, you know. Like I enjoy these like dramatic like dresses and what used to be normal back then. I mean, women had like 6 layers of clothing, and that's why they had to have a specific person as their dresser, because there was just so many layers, and so you couldn't really dress yourself. You had someone do it for you because it was just so complex and complicated, and you had to tie this and that. And yeah, so Gilded Age is the same writer of Downton Abbey, if that tells you anything.
Okay. Right. Have you ever watched Mad Men?
No, I haven't. Should I?
Mad Men is one of my favorite TV shows of all time.
Okay.
It is a period drama that takes place during the 60s. So it actually starts at 1960 and it ends at 1970.
I do enjoy that time period.
So what it is it's basically, it's about this advertising agency. They make advertisements for magazines and all that kind of stuff because that's what they had at the time. And it's this advertising agency, and it's this period drama that revolves around specific characters. The main character being Don Draper, who's played by it's escaping my mind right now, but it'll come back at some point probably. But it's this very specific. He's like an alcoholic. He's like, you know, this creative genius though in terms of like advertising and stuff like that. But the interesting about it is it takes place all during the 60s, but the events that happen during the 60s, they happen in the background of the show. They don't really do a focus on it. So like for a good example, and this is not really a spoiler because it's history, but like Don walks into the office one day and he sees all these people standing around a radio, and he's like, why is nobody working? What is everyone doing? And over the radio, you're hearing about JFK's assassination. Like they're reporting it.
Yep.
And then everything kind of stops and, you know, goes through this whole period piece. And then like, there's other concepts. Like there's a gentleman that was like works at the advertising agency, and he pitches this idea about like we should start getting into TV advertising. TV is going to be a big thing. So he becomes like this head of it's very, very interesting in the way it's told, but it's all drama and it's so well written how they piece these historical pieces together. And then if you are kind of like a history person about that era,
that's really like, what I enjoy. I think I enjoy absorbing myself in this is what life was like. This was the everyday occurrence for this, you know, these people, and, you know, this is what they felt like when XYZ happened. So yeah, that's totally up the alley for sure.
Yeah, I think it might be on Amazon Prime. I think maybe. It was definitely on Netflix. I don't know about now. I don't have a Netflix account anymore, but
I don't either.
Yeah, I'm not paying $30. Screw them. So definitely a good show. And then there was another one. It was on the History Channel, and it's one of the most, I think, entertaining ways they talked about history. It was called The Men Who Built America, and they told the stories were all done in reenactments, and it was like these 5 core men. One of them being like the who are the steel tycoons? God,
I'm bad with names.
Yeah,
I'm bad with names.
But like one of them's Henry. It's like they talk about Thomas Edison, and then they talk about Henry Ford, and then they talk about how like but the stories all lead to each other. So like how Thomas Edison found a way to make fuel like fossil fuels or whatever to make gasoline, and then they tied it into how like Henry Ford took the concept of gasoline and made the combustion engine and like all this kind of stuff, which he didn't actually do, but he mass produced the combustion engine for cars in a way. Like it's the way they told the stories and like they put it all together. And then like the steel tycoons who I think it was the Vanderbilts or something, where it's like, you know, the steel tycoons and how they built America literally with skyscrapers and all this kind of stuff. It's like probably one of the best, I think, ways they told history in like a docu style way. It was almost like cinematic in a movie kind of way. Really, really well done. The Men Who Built America. So you might find that one interesting. I think that's on Disney Plus if that was a History Channel thing. But
is History Channel on Disney Plus?
Probably.
I think.
I can't remember if it's on Disney Plus or HBO.
Oh, sorry, HBO. I think it is. I think History Channel is an HBO property. So, yeah, stuff like that. But I had no idea you were like a history person. Like I didn't. I had no idea you were into history. See?
Super, super duper. I mean, I wouldn't say that I'm like a history nerd, but I am fascinated by it, and I always like to kind of like take a, you know, kind of just absorb myself in what we came from and that kind of thing. But you know, the whole drama and storytelling is always fun. It's not purely from a historical standpoint, but yeah, that's probably the biggest one is that, and it kind of sucks because right now it's a stalemate. There isn't really anything new coming out, so
right, like
I've run out of like
one. What's the one that was on Netflix that did the whole Queen of England storyline?
The Crown.
The Crown.
Yeah.
Like The Crown is interesting, and a lot of these they've gotten a lot better about them. They all used to be kind of stale and boring, and then things have gotten a lot better.
Yeah, I've just run out of stuff to watch, so I'm kind of.
You know what I've been doing when I've run out of stuff to do? There's like some old RPG games that I play for like the Super Nintendo that I just dig up and just play, even though they're not great games and they're kind of boring if you were anyone else. But because it's something I played in my childhood, is like, I'm just gonna play garbage, and I will do that for like the rest of the evening and just turn off Discord and just relax.
Play garbage.
you know that RPG game that I've been playing on stream, Everis? That was actually one of the games. Sometimes when I'm bored, I was like, I'm gonna create characters for an hour, and then I'm gonna go in there and see what happens. I'm sad and pathetic. Anyway.
No, you are not.
Whatever.
We love you here. That's why you're here. Also, for those in the chat that do not know, Everis is a fitness buff. She likes to lift weights and she likes to go and get swole.
Big. I with the moving and the homework and all the stuff, I haven't gone in a couple weeks, which makes me feel really sad. I'm gonna go today because I really need to get that going again, because I can tell like my body is like less.
Dude, my hips are shot. Like I started doing that machine where you like sit and do the hip thing, like where you spread it with your legs.
Which direction? Going out or going
out?
in?
Going out. My problem's going out.
Okay, yeah.
Because when I squat and stuff, it like creaks and it aches, and I'm like, okay, I'm shot. So, but so like that. You haven't gone a week, but you love doing it. Like you love
absolutely
lifting and all that stuff. See, so
yep.
Those that didn't know,
here's one of the more weirder ones is I like watching, and this is probably stems from the likelihood that I have some small form of OCD, but I enjoy watching like rug cleaning videos on YouTube.
There we go. We got a guilty pleasure. This is the content I sign up for. Rug
cleaning and carpet cleaning and yard work, like landscaping. Like you take these houses that are abandoned, they have these they're just overgrown. You can't see the house anymore. And this guy comes in. He's like, I want to do it for free. And, he just goes and has like a hour and a half time lapse video of it just going from point A to.
You know those like ads you see on like Twitter, and it's like those like cleaning kinds of things like OxyClean or those Billy Mays commercials. When I see those on my timeline, I will stop and watch the whole thing and watch like carpet stains just be gone in like a second. I'm like, that is so satisfying.
Pal has a thing for organization.
Satisfying to watch. What?
Pal loves those ones where they like tear apart people's like pantries and stuff like that.
Yes.
They like reorganize it. She loves that shit.
Yeah, I can totally see why.
Yeah.
Like
rug cleaning is a one, man.
It's actually really, it's very unique. And the only reason I came across it is because for some reason YouTube was like, hey, look at this. You know, you like transformation videos. Look at this. And I did. And
so
then
you watch that guy that pours an ungodly amount of chemicals onto a rug just to clean it.
Yeah.
Actually, what happens is he takes rugs from like disaster zones.
Yeah. Oh.
No, like the dump and disaster zones. And then he donates rugs to schools and charities and that kind of thing.
Okay.
So,
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, he doesn't really earn money from it. He does it for fun, and then he gets all his money from YouTube. So
that's okay. That's
yeah,
that was what we were looking for in this whole thing. Everis comes through yet again. I like rug cleaning. I'm a history buff, but I also love rug cleaning.
Like
I'm balls to the wall, like weird
Good.
and on so many different levels.
I want to hear about all this weird.
I have no shame. I don't. I have zero shame about all this stuff.
Like
but
when Power Wash Simulator came out, I was watching so many people streaming. I have no shame.
you didn't actually watch real power washing videos. You just
No,
watched...
I just wanted to watch the game because it didn't.
That to me is weirder than
Shut up.
just watching actual power.
Don't talk to me.
videos.
So I'll close this out here. So I don't know if you guys have any idea what any of my weird ones would be, but some more serious ones is I like to read a lot. So I have now what I like to read, I have like an obsession with biographies. I like reading, especially like music related ones, like music artist biographies and things of that sort. I have like a real interest in those because I like what like Everis was saying, like I like what it's going through people's heads during a specific moment in time.
I think that we like forget that how crazy that would be in that time period.
Yeah.
Like we read about it in the books and we're like, okay, JFK got assassinated.
But like, what was somebody doing when JFK got assassinated? Like, how do you imagine hearing
what
that
was
on the radio?
life? Right. Exactly.
You know? So like, I have this thing for like, especially musician biographies because I love music so much. I like hearing about like what specific people are going. Like one of the most interesting ones I read was Deborah Harry, who was the singer of Blondie. She wrote a biography, and the one escapes me at the time right now, but she talks about how she actually got picked up in a car by one of like the major serial killers roaming around in the 80s at the time, and like how it freaked her out and stuff like that. And I was like, oh my god. Wait, what am I looking at? Power washing frogs.
Fuck off.
Power washing frogs. Ooh.
Spit everywhere.
So like,
so
I have a thing for biographies. I just picked up a new one recently that I'm going to read pretty soon. It's about this guy that was like a gang member in LA, and like I guess he got like converted and went straight, and he like talks about his life in the gangs like during the street in like the 80s LA. So like I'm intrigued by what's going through this guy's mind during that time frame. So like I'm into stuff like that. And then this all comes from like childhood. Like I have a very youthful mind. Like I have obsessions with things from like when I was a kid. Like my favorite movie is Ghostbusters. I have a small Ghostbusters collection up there. I also have a thing for Ninja Turtles because that was my favorite cartoon growing up when I was a kid. And like my parents bought me all these Ninja Turtle toys and stuff when I was a kid. Grandma used to slip me $10 every time I go visit her, and then my dad would take me to Toys R Us right after. And I'd go get a Ninja Turtle, and I was like the happiest kid in the world at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So like stuff like that really rings in my head a lot. It reminds me a lot about my dad, and I miss it a lot. So I think about it like regularly, and I think that whole stupid meme on TikTok about like now I have adult money.
Yeah.
Like leads me to buy stupid stuff that I don't even necessarily need in my life, but like it brings me some level of solitude, I guess. or some level of peace, I guess. Because I do have like I don't want to say it's a fear, but I do have this like mild reluctance about getting old. So like, this is probably some shit for my therapist or something, but like I do have like this reluctance about getting old. So I do hold on to a lot of those things because I guess in my head it keeps me young in some way, shape, or form. And things like that. I also like giving a lot of gifts. I literally just sent a bunch of Hot Wheels to Hannah for Bobby's birthday. Bobby's her son. So I sent a handful of Hot Wheels over to Hannah for his birthday. And things like that. So like I like doing stuff like that. I gave my friend, my Dungeons and Dragon friend, I gave his kid 100 cars for his birthday.
You gave me a Witcher comment.
Yeah, see? I like comic books, and I was like, oh, there's a Witcher comic book. Everis would probably like this. So boom. You know,
I want to go look for more.
You can go look it up on Amazon. I think if you go to your Amazon account and you like look up The Witcher, it'll tell you which ones you're missing in the series.
Nice.
You have to, so you can buy the next one or whatever. But so yeah, like I have affinity for that stuff. Guilty pleasure wise, like I said, I watched The Devil's Wear Prada. I even read The Devil's Wear Prada.
That's kind of disappointing. I didn't know that she becomes like a really unrelatable and horrible character at the end.
It's really weird.
Ugh, that's unsatisfying.
The other like I don't know if you guys, Zenith might remember this, but there was like a set of trading cards called the Garbage Pail Kids. The
sounds familiar. I just don't remember it at all.
Kids. Anyone in the chat here can Google it, but the Garbage Pail Kids were like basically really disgusting versions of Cabbage Patch Dolls.
Oh, you're right. Okay, right. Yeah.
And like in the disgusting sense, like there'd be like the names would be ridiculous, like Fart and Freddy and stuff like that, or like Pimple Pete, and like they would look disgusting.
Okay. Yep.
They would just look gross, right? And so like I had an obsession with that when I was a kid.
All right. So how about like a guilty pleasure like show or even like a game that you play where it's like, you know what? It'd be like if Erik, it will like, do you have something where it's kind of like how you tortured yourself with Kingdom Hearts? You hated it, but yet you just keep coming back to it.
Well, that wouldn't happen, but
yeah, of course that specifically wouldn't happen. But that's sometimes what I feel with some of the games that I like subject myself to.
I'm trying to think of one off the top of my head here.
For me, it's Sims. I feel like Sims is a very guilty pleasure.
I was on a big Sims kick for a while. I definitely was. I was definitely into the roller coaster tycoon stuff.
Hell yeah, dude.
And I would like torture the people. Like the roller coaster would go off the track and everything, and like people would just burn.
You hear the people like dying as they like fall off the track.
Yeah,
you're
and
horrible.
I'm like, dude, like I said, this is probably shit I need to bring to a therapist. Where it's like.
I used to play lots and lots of Harvest Moon. And I also used to play all those. Remember those like really old, like it was before like the days of WoW, where you'd see like all those like the RPG games you'd find online where you click here to go there on the website, and then you try and train yourself. You have so much stamina during the day.
Oh, you didn't do Neopets?
No, I didn't do Neopets. But I did like some of these like RPG things.
Dill, did you do Neopets? You seem like a Neopets guy.
No, I almost got into Tamagotchis, but then kind of like didn't intrigue me enough.
I had Digimon Tamagotchi.
Digimon, nice.
Yeah, and it pooped everywhere.
I used to like Digimon, and then Pokemon kind of got in the way.
No, I did have this one game that I play all the time, and surprisingly enough, it showed up on the Nintendo Online thing. But there's a game called Side Pocket on the Super Nintendo, and it's literally just Super Nintendo version of Pool. And I'll just play like a Super Nintendo version of Pool on like the Nintendo Online when I'm bored. Also Tetris. I play Tetris a lot. I was like in love with Tetris 99 because it was literally like competing against other people. So like I had a big thing with Tetris. And I still play it all the time. I'll fire it up on the Steam Deck every now and then and play out some Tetris.
I'm fairly decent at Tetris. I wonder
don't know
who's
what
better.
it is. Maybe it's the organizational thing. I don't know. Like,
Are you an organized guy?
Fuck no. Fuck no. Pal bought me this. Like, you guys can see it in the Discord, not the chat. The stream can't see it, but like, I have this little fucking. Pal bought me one of those like valet tray things, where like you're supposed to put your wallet and your keys and all that kind of shit right in it. My wallet's been in this valet tray like maybe 4 times this year. It's like my wallet ends up in the weirdest fucking place. My wallet's ended up in the cupboard in the kitchen once.
Is that 4-line drop satisfying? Is that Tetris 4-line drop satisfying?
I will literally play Tetris to where I actually prioritize the 4-line drops.
Eric, I need to ask, what is that thing you put in your valet little basket? Is that a stinky sock? What is that?
It's like a microfiber cloth, like for my glasses and my monitors and shit.
I thought it was like some childhood like.
Eric just keeps his cum rag.
Oh my
God.
Stop with you.
What? Why? Why do you go there? You could have called it their blankie, their security blanket. No, you had to. No, I'm not even gonna say it. I'm not even gonna say what you said.
Don't encourage him.
I'm not even gonna say.
Should write you.
Cover up his face. Cover up his.
Do that every episode anyway.
Yeah, and this time I'm here to shut you down. I'm here to shut you down. Shut it down.
I'm like the most.
Maybe give you 20th off.
I'm the most disorganized person ever. Like, I have shit everywhere, and no matter how hard I've reworked this whole desk, like cable management wise, like 5 times, and it's still not the way I want it. Like, I can't.
I only suggested it because you said organization part of it. But apparently that is not what does it for you.
Maybe it's because I feel like I can do it. Like when I hit the 4-line things in Tetris, I'm like, I can do this. I can be organized. I don't know. But on a serious note, before we close out here, so like the serious stuff, I'm a big music fan. I actually have a vinyl record collection that just sits to the left of me here. Like full on turntable, the whole shebang. All of that. So I'm a music person at heart. I do play guitar. I played guitar since I was 13, so that puts us at fucking a million years now.
27 years.
27 years. Thank you, Dale. Now, am I as good to the point where a 27-year-old like guitar player would be? Probably not. But I played for a long time and I really enjoy it. That's like my therapy thing. Like that's what I do to relax and enjoy myself.
You know what you should do? Open up one of the podcasts and just noodle on the guitar.
I tried to do the whole Rocksmith game where like you hooked your guitar up to like it was an Ubisoft game and like the cable was like guitar. I couldn't get the sound and everything to work correctly.
Oh,
it was weird.
IT problem.
Yeah. So it was like a weird thing I couldn't figure. And I tried to do it on stream and it's like it got frustrating. I might revisit it again someday. But
because Josh has it too, and I've been meaning to like pull it out and see if I can learn a few things about guitar.
It's actually done. It's actually one of the more well done ways to learn how to play. If you actually take your time with it and focus, it's actually really well done. You can slow stuff down. You can play things at different tempos. The hardest thing about learning stuff is that, like learning guitar is like people try to play things at the tempo it's supposed to be played at, rather than starting slow and like getting a feel for it and then building yourself up. Everyone just tries to play it at what speed you're supposed to play it at. And then they get frustrated because they can't make the fingers work, you know?
Right.
You have to take your time and go slow and do it, you know, piece by piece by piece. Sometimes it takes me forever to figure stuff out, like songs, because I just can't catch it with the ear and stuff. My ears aren't as good as they used to be. And so I have a hard time picking out stuff sometimes, but I also like photography. Like I have cameras and I take pictures and all that stuff every now and then. I've actually been trying to do it again in more of my free time, is just take pictures and like edit them and do like it's therapeutic in a way, helps me relax. So that was another one of the things I've done a lot over the time, you know, behind the scenes, pre-Twitch and all that stuff. Those are like the things I do. Guilty pleasure wise, Devil Wears Prada, Garbage Pail Kids, the side pocket pool game, Tetris. I'm not that weird. I do not have
I did not think I would be the weirdest one on this panel, but turns out I freaking am.
No, I
feel
think
like-
Zenith's the weird one in just a different way.
I feel like I'm the weirdest one because I literally have nothing.
You know what? We should have like a poll where we can ask people who is the weirdest one on the podcast. All right, Everis is the weirdest. Okay, there we go.
Everis is
I
the
think
weirdest.
everyone's gonna vote for me. What are you talking about?
No, you're weird in specific ways.
Dragonfly's gonna vote for me no matter what it is.
Mhm.
It's
It'll be
still a
like
bone.
who has the brownest hair, and be like Everis.
Who's the Hispanic one on the podcast? Everis.
Everis.
Who's the most masculine dude on this podcast? Everis.
So yeah, anyone have anything else before we close out here? Everis is apparently the weird one, and it all came down to rug washing videos.
You know what? You
I-
should watch it sometime, and maybe you'll surprise yourself.
I've watched some of the organizing stuff with Pow. The other weird one that we watched every now and then was the people that have like the weird obsessions, like the one where the woman would like sniff gasoline before going to bed every day. And, like,
Oh,
That's creepy
my
to
God.
me.
yeah.
That makes me like I don't like to know what is out there in the world of humanity, and like
I forgot what it's called. It's called like strange obsessions or something, like the strange obsessions.
My strange habits or whatever.
We
it
should
is.
Yeah.
Or
probably.
addictions.
You know what we should do sometime?
I try to be understanding,
Or-
but there's just some people out there that I'll never understand, and I really like to just not know exist.
Why
Yeah,
do this?
I would love to do like a segment where on the podcast where we just react to certain kinds of weird obsessions or weird things that people do and just do like a live reaction to some of this.
We can make
Could
that
be
happen. We'll have to figure out the like the YouTube.
I mean, that's a
like,
rabbit hole to
copyright
jump
thing.
into, because there's so many things we could react to.
Yeah.
So many things. And
Oh,
that's
and-
all YouTube is now, is reacting to stuff.
I had a wild
Yeah.
obsession. I had a wild obsession for a while of the coupon like TV show where like the people could get their food for like at the grocery store for straight up free. These people would have like thousands of dollars in grocery bill, and then it would get down to like free because they had a million coupons.
all the crazy couponing
Yeah.
people.
Oh my god.
Yeah, like this one time, this
It's
woman
really
had like
impressive.
this woman had like $1,000 grocery bill, and the grocery store actually owed her money because
Wow.
she had so many coupons. The grocery store had to kick her like $30.
Jesus.
It was like, what? And
It's
then
amazing. It's honestly impressive and amazing, but it takes so much dedication. And
Yeah.
you end up with like a storeroom of stuff.
that someone Chibi actually just said right now, that's like the reason the grocery stores like keep track of that stuff now, and they like take away all those like double coupon rules and all that stuff because people abused it.
Hmm.
Leave
This
it
is
to
why
TV
we
to
can't have
ru-
nice things.
Yeah, leave it to TV to ruin it, and social media. You know. Okay.
Yes.
Administrative stuff. Next episode, I'm going to be guessing here is the 20th. April 20th would be the next one.
Everis'
Mhm.
birthday.
Oh, it's your birthday?
Yeah, it's a birthday.
It is, but I'm out of town, so
That's okay.
What?
I know. But
We'll pipe you in
I-
on Zoom.
that would be fun.
We need stick figure Everest.
Yeah, I'm out of town, and to visit like family and friends before I move. That
We
would
are
be
your family.
a
and
really
friends.
Yeah.
Wow.
I always considered Everest family.
That I don't know what to say.
Oh my
She's
God.
Is that like a good?
She's about to
or
cry.
is that a
She's
bad?
about to cry.
No,
Eric
it's
is
a
the
wonder-
Eric is the Vin Diesel
It's
of
a
podcasts.
it's a wonderful.
I'm the Vin Diesel. We got family.
Yes.
Family. Family.
But it's like it almost sounded like you're discrediting my whole childhood, and like
None of that matters
you have
anymore.
no child. We are your family.
Yeah, it sounded kind of culty, right?
It did a little bit, but I'll take it. I'll take it.
There you go. There you go, Eric. Good family, good games.
But like, yeah. Okay, so next episode's
I can be your first podcast caller.
Let's get a caller on the line. Hi, this is Everis, long time listener, first time caller. Enjoy your birthday.
Thank you.
I think you mentioned it too, and Oh, that's right, because you share it the same day as Meg.
Yeah. I do.
Yeah.
I do.
That's right. I'm bad with birthdays, so I know I just went on this whole spiel about how Everis is in family and stuff. Well, why do you remember? I'm bad with birthdays in general. Trust me.
It's my birthday 2 days after. Do I get the day off too?
Eric, you said about your birthdays. You said you have my birthday on record.
Right. How do you think I remember it? I go to that channel and I log the command and it tells me when your birthday is.
And you still missed it.
Guys, I'm going to be realistic with you, okay? My anniversary, all of that stuff is in an entry on my calendar on my phone. And because I will forget. I'm bad with birthdays. I'm bad with anniversaries. I'm bad with all that stuff. So,
to be fair, I forgot my birthday one year. So
you forgot your own birthday?
How do you forget your birthday? How do you forget your birthday?
Well, the thing is, when you celebrate your birthday alone, you kind of just forget.
Don't go there.
I did, but that's because that was like pre-pandemic. I was working like an awful lot, and I think like that year I was more focused
you sad boy.
I was more focused on going on vacation. I completely forgot about my birthday.
Well, I guess your birthday is your vacation. Your vacation is your birthday.
Okay. So, Everis has got a birthday. She will not be joining us on the 20th. Happy birthday. Enjoy yourself.
Thank you.
Go do something wild and crazy.
Go watch those rug carpet cleaning things.
I got time for that shit.
She's got a big old carpet. She bought a big old carpet at Goodwill. Is gonna clean it. That's her birthday present to herself.
Yeah,
but
some
anyway.
people
oh my god.
Yeah, Ever's gonna be like one of those people where instead of sending someone bubble wrap for them to play with, we just send Ever's a carpet. You're like, here you go. This needs to be cleaned.
You know what, Zen? I think you should watch it because it kind of meshes the beauty of both worlds of power washing and rug cleaning.
I would.
He uses
That's the thing. I would.
He uses a power washer for part of this process.
Power wash the frogs.
Just splat.
No,
kill the frogs.
Previous episodes of the podcast video, it's all caught up on YouTube now. You can watch up to episode 37 on YouTube now, along with the the audio stuff. It's all up there now. I'm gonna probably be setting it up now too, to where the videos will upload with the audio versions. I'm getting that stuff figured out. And then, of course, back on the 20th, as far as administrative stuff goes, Back to the Backlog episode 3 is up on the channel now. You can catch those. And then I'll be back this Wednesday with episode 5 of Back to the Backlog. We're still working our way through Doom. A lot of stuff we're working on here. So, other things to come down the pipeline here. We got special guest stuff we're working on. Things of that sort. We'll have updates for you as we do. As always, we've got Dill. Actually, let me go back to the whole thing here, horizontal. Okay, we've got Dill. We got Everis. We got Zenith. And, of course, we got myself, Eric. We appreciate you hanging out with us today. As always, this is Good Friends, Good Games, and we will see you again soon.